Live streaming is on.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening for the Stunt Hangar video Hangout. And this is Friday evening, October 1st, and so we have a program going. And I want to first let you know that you can join our program by coming into stunthangar.com/SMF and go to the at the bench link, and then I will post shortly a link into this video platform. I also want to encourage everybody to subscribe, share, and join. We have memberships. There's a three-tier um, involvement. I think the lowest one is $4.99, and that's what I'm doing. I'm a member, and you get a chance to help support Sparky with equipment acquisition and help with the expenses of having live programming at events like the Nationals and other events. There was the Cleveland contest. Sparky goes all out to produce really professional, the best he can possibly do. And he's even demonstrating a new thing he's doing with a CNC machine, a router, and laser cutter. Um, so it's a fantastic opportunity, fantastic value. Um, and we talk about model aviation. We talk about flying, competing, building. We encourage show and tells. Um, I would also like to encourage more listeners. So share and let your friends know about it. Encourage people to come and participate. Um, and with that being said, I think I've covered everything. If not, I will. Oh, by the way, if you are not a member of Stunt Hangar, you can join. Just register with your real, first and last name. Needs to be a space between your first and last name, and you also have to have a valid email address. So those are the prerequisites to join. And Sparky is the one who actually he's the gatekeeper. So if for some reason you don't get approved, you might forgot the space or something. But you can always reach out to me in the comment section on the YouTube and explain to me, and maybe come on in on the chat box for a while, and let's see if you're not a troll and that kind of thing. And then there should not be a problem. You will need a microphone and microphone and a camera so we can see you. But if you don't want us to see you, you can be clandestine. If you don't have if you don't have a face for radio, I understand that. Anyways, I'm gonna go and post the link, and I have two monitors, so I'm able to keep an eye on the chat, and so I try to include their comments and questions into the live conversation. Just don't mind me for a second here. Let me see here. Let me get back to Stunt Hangar. I thought I had all this up. Pardon me just a second. Okay, there it is. All right, so post. All right, so I'm hoping there's some people that are just anxious to get in and are going to pop in right away. Um, if not, I'll hold it down until I get some company. Let me see here. What did I do with my video here? Hang on a second. Pardon me for the delay here. All right, there I am, and that's posted. All right. Hey, Peter, welcome. Thank you for coming in. You're the first one in. So how you doing?
Okay, we're doing good over here.
Good.
We're doing good over here.
So have you seen your new grandchild in person, or just seen a video, or what?
Oh no, we went and we took the risk, and then a couple of weeks ago we went up to Jacksonville, visited the visit the son and the daughter, saw the grandbaby.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love babies. I love their breath. I mean, it's just like, you wish that you had breath like a baby, you know?
Oh,
Isn't that right? Isn't that right, John?
some people like the baby smell, some people don't.
Well, I don't like the first defecation, the one that all black and sticky and gooey.
That's the first one. I thought that was all of them.
I'm talking about the first time a baby, has a defecation.
I understand what you're saying. To me, it takes about a year before you get to the brown ones.
Yeah, so this is still child-friendly conversation. So
Well, I didn't say anything that wasn't child-friendly.
I know. Hey, we're just being just an observation, right?
That's right.
Hey, Sparky, the man.
Sparky.
So how you doing, Sparky?
That bad, huh? But sorry, we can't hear you.
All right. Hey, Tom, how you doing, Tom?
I'm doing okay for getting let go from work this week.
Oh man, that's part of an engineer's life, right? I mean, it's like this probably happened to you more times than you can count, right?
Oh well. I think
Isn't that kind of like an engineer.
I blame it on COVID.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you now.
Okay.
They blamed it on COVID-19.
It's a good
what?
On COVID-19.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's excuse. That's an excuse for everything.
Yep. That's why we didn't have any contests this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to go to Golden State, but it was not only COVID-19, but it was the air quality.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that because this video will get taken down.
All right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, the censorship is unbelievable.
Yeah, I won't talk about. Never mind. First Amendment.
Yeah.
Hey John, do you you work in CAD? What program do you use? And is it SVG drawings that are put out?
No, I work in. Actually, I'm using DraftSite now. I trained in AutoCAD. DraftSite is very, very close to AutoCAD. It's a real easy changeover. So, and that's DWG output. If you can, in the system you're using, if you can go to leave it or save it as a DXF or as a DWG, then almost any system will use it.
Let's see what I got. I got SVG, DWG, EMP, HTML, text. Nope, I don't have a DWG. I'm using for this laser cutter. I have to do G code. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not familiar with that. Tom might be.
Yeah. I'm familiar with G-code.
I'm using Inkscape and you have to convert it to G code. And I'm just wondering what the easiest. I want the easiest thing to do because this Inkscape is a killer. I've been studying now for a week and I still am having a hard time with it.
They say that for laser cutting and engraving, Lightburn is a really good software package to use.
Is it free or I got to pay for it?
It's free to try, and then after I think a month or something, it's $40. So it's pretty reasonable.
$40 a month, or $40 a year, or $40 total?
$40 total.
Lightburn, huh?
Yep.
Let's see here.
Yeah, it beats DraftSite all the heck. DraftSite costs between $100 to $200 a year if you get the bottom and the mid level.
Oh yeah, that looks more like my other program. Let's see here. Lightburn, download trial. Try before you buy. Lightburn, clear, blah, blah, blah. License, find prices here, okay. Somebody's got a window open. Let's see here. I guess 64-bit version.
Yeah.
Application, go. All right, well, we'll give this a try. I mean, Inkscape is so powerful, it's unbelievable. It takes raster drawings and turns them into SVG, which is scalable vector graphic, and then you convert it to G code.
Well, how good are is the conversion from raster code? Most of them I run into the conversion. You have to go in and it actually takes me less time to trace over a JPEG or a PDF and get it correct than to use the raster vector to vector conversion program. There we go. Got it out.
That's just one click.
How good are they? How accurate is it? You got multiple lines. You got how are your radiuses? You know, all of,
Well, that all depends on how you set the nodes up. If
okay.
If you know, let's say we're doing a circle. If you only have 4 nodes in it, like is the default, it's it's not a perfect circle. But if you highlight it and then add nodes where you're doubling the nodes around it, it's real good.
Yeah, that AutoCAD had a raster to vector conversion. Almost all of them have a raster to vector conversion. You can even buy some aftermarket raster to vector conversion, but at this point, I'm not aware of any of them that are really worth. I mean, I couldn't take a set of drawings and bring them into the CAD program and have it do a raster to vector conversion that I would be willing to accept as accurate. Now, that could change, but I don't know if you'd find that in a free program.
Well, like I say, look at Inkscape and see what you think of it.
I will. I'll take a look at it.
It's really powerful. The only problem that I have, and I'm sure that I just downloaded some shortcut. You got to have the directions for this stupid thing.
Yeah.
I need to set up the measurements. Everything's in millimeters. Now, you can convert it in your head, 2 inches is 51 millimeters. But it'd be a whole lot better if I could, do everything in inches so that the output's in inches so that the laser cutter will cut in inches instead of metric.
Yeah. It doesn't have a box where you can just click metric or SAE.
It does, but it doesn't seem to output the same. So I'm missing a setting somewhere. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably in the, and I don't know this for sure, but it's most likely in the part that converts or creates the G code.
Yeah.
There's probably a setting in there that can allow it to create output for metric or output for English G code.
Shift Control P brings up the preferences. Okay, interface system requires reset preferences. No import images. No rendering. Number of threads. What is that? Rendering cache. 512.
And what software is that?
It's Inkscape.
Huh.
Best quality.
I had that on, but I don't have it on this machine.
Lower quality. Lowest. No. looking for interface. Let's see here. Ah, there it is. Zoom. The maximum documents 36 inches. Filter, dynamic relay. I mean, there's so many damn buttons on this program. It's unreal.
Yeah, a lot of them are that way.
Paint bucket, dropper, gradient, tech. You can, like I say, you can do whatever.
Yeah, and that's Inkscape.
Yeah, Inkscape. It's supposedly the alternative to Illustrator.
All right. Okay. So it's not a dedicated CAD. That might be part of the problem you might be running.
Inkscape is a vector graphics program.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, then it's not like some illustration programs where they got some weird setup they're running.
And you, like I say, it has a plug-in that you put into the share folder, and you push the button, and it changes the vector to G-code.
Okay.
But like I say, I will tell you, if you're going to do a circle, the default set of nodes is 4, and that ain't enough for a circle. Yeah, it kind of makes a circle, but you need to double, hold the shift key and click it twice to add nodes so that it quadruples the nodes.
That's kind of like when you're using polylines for a scalable curved surface or curved line. The more nodes you have in it, when you hit the spline command and ask it to smooth out the curve, the more you have, the better it will smooth it, and more accurately it'll smooth it out.
It only took me a week to figure out why this is this way, and it was pretty simple once I got this particular line. SVG is scalable vector graphics, or raster. A raster is a picture, and SVG or G code is math. That made sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you look at, for instance, a JPEG is a raster image.
Right.
Okay. And if you try to do anything with a raster, if you try to close in on it, make it bigger, it gets
goes like that.
SVG is kind of like an equivalent of an EPS file.
Yeah, Pete's pretty good with some of the stuff with the graphics and the 3D graphic, and that's his business actually.
No, it's not my business, but I've been using it for quite a while. However,
I thought you were doing projects for people, or you designing their meeting in boardrooms, 3 dimensions and things like that.
Oh well, yeah. Doing 3D concepts is part of it, but basically I do all of the electronics and communications in and out and sort of and the like.
Oh, okay.
Well, yesterday I put up a video yesterday to tell everybody what I've been doing, and I was getting ready to open my Sure Cuts a Lot Pro, and I had put it on this machine, and my defaults were gone, and it took me a while because I haven't used this machine. It took me a while to get my defaults back. So tomorrow I can do my Dr. Pepper layout.
Oh, cool.
Sparky, are you happy with the way it cuts plywood, your laser cutter?
Yeah, you just have to make like 5-6 passes is all.
Okay. Is it an actual 7 watt? Does it say that on the laser? The reason I ask that, I have been trying to research, laser heads, and there are some that say 30 watts, and I have a hard time believing it. I don't know if that's 30 watt input power or, because some of them are rated by the laser power.
Well, here's what it says 7,000 MW, so that must be 7 watt.
Yeah.
Milliwatt.
7,000
Milliwatt.
milliwatts
7,000 milliwatts.
is 7 watts.
Okay, that's what the output is. Now, I've seen on the web that they're selling 15 watts, maybe like you say, maybe 20 watt but what I don't get is if I took a 30-watt laser and put it to this, you'd have to have more output power on the board to power that laser. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Wouldn't you think?
You'd have to have more power available to come off the board for the laser. Absolutely.
Right, more power going into the laser than this little board can put out.
Yep. It's like I have to go to ham radio. It's like if I've got a 5-watt radio and I want to put 1,000 watts out, I've got to put a big power supply and a adequate amount of power to power up the tube to get that kind of a boost.
Right, the linear has to be larger.
Right.
That's what I would think, you know.
That's why I have such a hard time believing the ratings on some of these lasers.
Well, this company here that I bought this laser from sold a 2, a 5, and a 7. If they'd have sold a 15, they would, you know, I would have bought the 15, but the 7 was the biggest that they put out.
You know, I try to remember what wattage Walter Umland's is.
His is an 80 watt.
It's an 80 watt.
Yeah, but his is a CO2 laser. That's totally different. These little ones are diode lasers.
Okay.
It works. I mean, if I can figure the code out, it works fine.
Well, if
that's
you go
part
to
of
a
the learning curve.
if you go to a CO2 laser, you're talking thousands of dollars. I mean, several thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they aren't cheap.
When John and I were in Cincinnati, I saw that what got me interested in this laser was they had an ad come on the TV for a laser, and I go, wow, that'd be cool to cut with laser stuff, and it was $1,000, and I was seriously considering on buying that one, but that's $1,000. You know,
Yeah.
A lot of money.
yeah. So then I went to Amazon and found this one and you know what? To look at it, it looks like the bed, the track, and the setup is the same as the $150 one. But I don't know. I did buy limit switches.
Oh, good.
That's a good idea.
But these are the wrong ones.
Oh,
But I'm only out $10 on that.
Yeah.
the connectors are wrong, or what? What's
Yeah, these are 3-wire connectors. I need 2-wire.
Yeah, but you can just use 2 of the 3 because the way that works, Sparky, is the switch has 3 terminals, so it's a common terminal and then a normally open and a normally closed. Are you familiar with that terminology?
Well, I would hope so, yeah. Yeah, I got it.
And so you just don't use the normally open or the normally closed contact.
It does have 3.
Let me click on you.
Yeah, 3 inputs.
Yep.
And then this little plug here has 3, and one's black, one's green, one's red. I would say the green is probably the neutral. But I'd have to put a meter on it and check to see which one. So all I'm looking for is a signal, right? Do I want it open or closed?
It depends on the circuit, but I believe normally it's open. I don't know for sure on that circuit. It depends on that circuit board.
Would it matter? I mean, I can't screw it up if I hook it up wrong, can I?
No,
Not on two wire. It's either open or it's closed.
right.
If it's an open circuit and this switch is backwards, it just won't run until the
Right.
button's pushed, and then I
Right.
just swap the wires. Okay.
Right.
I have,
Right now there's a connector and there's nothing connected to that connector.
right.
So that means that it's expecting it to be open when it's running. And then when it hits a limit, then it would close.
Yeah.
If the board is working right now with nothing connected to that connector.
Yeah, there's nothing on it.
Okay.
Hey, Philip, what's going on?
Hey Charles, how are you? Doing great. Saw your YouTube video. That was pretty interesting. I'm gonna go get the parts to make a couple of those tomorrow. The 4-foot banner markers.
Oh, the height guides, I call them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
I have two of them, and so I usually put out, like if you're going to start a wing over on one side, I have one on the opposite side of the circle. But
Yeah.
that's when I'm getting ready to prepare for a contest.
Yeah.
And, I already worked out all the other issues of flying, and I just want to work on making sure I go straight over the cross and the top and in on the other opposite side. I use that to pull out.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit, the way I have like the sign, if you would, I have it kind of in a portrait setup. I might be better off as a landscaping, so I have a little bit longer to see it. But
I thought I would do that too. It looks good.
Yeah,
I thought I'd make it I'm gonna put it on a 10-foot pole and put a mark of some color at the top and a mark at 4 foot and a mark at 6 foot. And then whether you're using old time or classic, 6 to 10 or 4 to 6, you'll be able to know that you're there. And then I've got cones that I put out at figure out where it stopped, figure out which way the wind's blowing, and then we put cones out 90 degrees apart, and then every quarter of the circle really. But then different yellow cones instead of orange. We have yellow cones that go out to it's a quarter of the circle, but it's a quarter, an eighth to each side of the one directly downwind. That's how big your maneuvers are supposed to be. So it makes it neat. It's we try to come up with a way to make everybody help everybody, and we all try to practice. Luke came up with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and everybody has to go out and take a look and just put it at 90 degrees and then look up that thing and see where your 90 degree, where your 45 is.
Right.
Because mine's 2 foot above. The wind always seems to blow one direction in Hobby Park. I don't know why.
Oh, that's good.
But it does. But my maneuvers are 2 feet above that tree for me. Now, Tommy is 2 feet below the top of the tree, but Tommy's a good bit shorter than me.
Right.
But everybody's a little different. One of the guys is dead at the top. Tony's dead at the top of the tree. And, so on and so on. There's 12. Well, there's 11 of us now. But it's getting, we're trying to get where everybody's, every time we go out there, it's practice for a contest.
Yeah, that's
the way to do it. Yeah, you just go out and practice and go for it. But, everything helps. That idea of yours was neat. I'm doing it. I'm going to do that. And I also have when I was a lineman, I had a measuring stick to measure traffic signals. And when I retired, they gave me a broken one. Whatever. I put a what do you call a windsock on it.
Right.
And run that up. And so we have a windsock, and then we have the quarters markers, and now we'll have these 4 foot markers, 4, 6, and 10 foot markers. So I think it's going to all work out. We keep playing with it. Of course, the back of my pickup's getting pretty darn full, but
yeah, no, I have to haul all this stuff, my cones, my huge, and those height guides. It's exhausting when I get all set up. I'm tired.
Well, I have to get out there 30 minutes before everybody else does, set everything up, and I finally we have a 2-inch conduit in the middle of our where we stand, there, little pad at the park, and I made a piece that just slides down into that, and then the rest of it's round, and it's just a anyway, you go to any part of the circle, you just figure out which way the wind's blowing. So I put the sock up first to figure out where the wind's blowing, and then that's downwind. I mean, that's the way downwind is. So you take this circular thing and put it down in that hole in the center, and you turn the two of the 4 points so that you can walk over to the end of the circle and look back. And when you've got them lined up, that's where the cone goes. And you walk to the 4 corners, 4 sides, whatever, 4 quarters of the circle. And you can sight down those 2 opposing triangles that are on this center circle and put everything up. I can set it up by myself, basically, is what I'm saying. And then you just have to walk off the quarters to get the maneuver size right. And then Tommy always brings the 30, 60, 90 triangles, and we're just trying to make it so every time you go fly your contest flight. That way, when they get to the contest, because we had 2 or 3 people, including myself, when we started, that could fly fine until you put a judge in front. Put me in front of a judge, and I'm all to pieces.
Yeah, that's actually the part that I kind of enjoy about going to competition is that being judged, that kind of nervousness and anxiousness a little bit. It doesn't
Yeah.
last very long, but I actually enjoy that. Because when I used to do public speaking, I enjoyed the same aspect, the nervousness and all that. Once I realized it was normal, when I was first doing it, I thought something was wrong. Alarms were going off in my head, and the first thing I wanted to do was get off the stage. And
Yeah.
after a while, I realized that's just normal. It's going to go away. And
Yeah.
I had to overcome. To maybe most people's surprise, I used to be a terrible stutterer, and so I really enjoy all that kind of stuff. It's just a challenge for me to overcome that fear of stuttering.
Yeah. I always worried about being so nervous when I'd go out in front of the judges, because in college when I got out of college, it's no real secret. When I got out of college, I didn't take my final test. I did, but I didn't. I had a professor, electronics professor, that he said, "You're an old farm boy, aren't you?" I said, "Well, yes, sir." He said, "Well, I've got a farm. How about come out to my farm and help me Saturday morning? I'll pay you." I said, "Don, I don't mind. Let's go. I'll be there. Tell me how to get there." So he told me how to get there. Oh, he didn't tell me it was so far out in the woods. My God. I lived in Siloam. I thought that was the edge of the earth, but he was 20 miles the other side of that. So anyway, I went out there, got there at 7 o'clock one morning. Meant to be there at 6, but it was a lot further than I thought, and I got lost. But anyway, I got there, and we mended fences all day. And he asked me all day long, if you had this circuit with the value of this, you had these 3 resistors, this capacitor, this,
Oh,
how would you solve it? How would you solve it? I said, well, I can't solve it without my calculator. You didn't tell me to bring the calculator. He says, just how would you do it? Step by step, how would you do it? So I told him how I would do it step by step all the way through. And a couple of times I had to stop and draw what he was saying in the dirt, because there was some pretty complex circuits we were talking about. Anyway, he said, well, that's right. You got it right. You got it right. You got it right. Well, why the heck can't you do it when I put a piece of paper in front of you that says TEST on it? Why do you freeze? I don't know, Don. I've
yeah,
never
I know.
known, but I do. So anyway, I went in Monday morning to take this test, and everybody's place was there, and you're supposed to already have your test is upside down on your desk, and you don't touch that sucker. I mean, literally, you don't touch it until he
Right.
says go and starts the clock. Anybody got any questions? Yes, sir. I don't have a test. He says, oh, come here. Yours is up here. And he had mine in front of the class. It had key on it. It had 100 key. And he says, you know how to do all this crap. You've taught half the guys in here how to do this stuff. You just freeze when I put a test in front of you. And I did. I mean, I couldn't say anything. Half the class started clapping.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked out. He says, you go on up commissary. We'll see you after a while. So anyway, that's how I graduated college. It was the
Wow.
darndest mess I ever seen. I had a good professor. I had a real good professor. But I got my electronics degree and got the heck out of there, and then went to work on traffic signals. Ugh. But anyway, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
I tell you this much. Everybody says, "Why did you work on traffic signals? You could have made so much more money." Because the other jobs didn't offer a retirement, and I was looking forward to retirement. I tell you what, now that I'm in retirement, it is really nice to get a check every month.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
No,
I don't have to get up. I don't have to get out of bed in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I know my bills are paid, and I know I don't have to get up 24/7 on call. Oh God, 30 years of that. I'm telling you, we'll make an old man out of you.
Yeah.
But we had Steve's here, but I had a good time. Honestly, for 30 years, it wasn't a bad gig. I had a good bunch of people to work with, but I'm sure glad it's over now.
Got a question for you, Eric.
Lay it on me.
It's not actually a question. It's just an observation. Getting back to when you're setting up your circle, you mentioned setting up a windsock and all that. One of the things out here that Howard Rush does, or at least he used to do, I don't know if he's doing it still, but he used to show up with a 12 or 16-foot crappie pole, the kind that you can.
Same thing.
Okay. But he had a piece of mylar tape up there about 10, 15, 20 feet long. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I use an actual windsock at the very top. Now, it's only about that big, and it's, I think, 34 inches long because it's light. It's light. But at the other positions, I got rings. This is a telescoping pole. So I got rings that will slide up and down it, and they'll stop at this section, and the next one will go to the next section, whatever. As the pole gets bigger or smaller, the things will only go to this, and there's mylar tape on that. Okay. A lot of times at Hobby Park, I won't say we have an interesting place to fly, but a lot of times at Hobby Park, that flag will be sitting as due south as it can be, but the flags down here at the bottom will be as due north as they can be, because that air is doing this all the time.
That's what the mylar is good for. It tells you when you've got thermals in the area.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden that tape will be going,
Yeah, and how. I went flying tonight, and my wife went out and launched for me tonight, 6 flights, and my wife and my grandson, and flew the Blue Angel Nobler. I have a 57 Nobler. It's painted up like a Blue Angel that went down in Tennessee last year, a Marine. Anyway, I took it out and repaired it after a crash and took it out and flew it tonight and finally got it flying like it's supposed to. And I'm kind of tickled again. It's the first time I've been tickled in a while, but I'm kind of tickled. I got a plane that's really flying well. And then the Max B is just really flying well. That thing it'll pull your arm off, but it's a brute.
I take it, Phil, you didn't want this anymore?
Oh, you should have gotten a check by now.
Oh, no, I am.
You didn't get a check yet? Oh,
nope.
No. Oh, no. That's I'll go to post office. Oh, shoot. It's Friday. I'll go to post office Monday and find out if it's a postal money order you should be getting for $150.
When did you send it?
When did I talk to you last? I went the next day.
Yeah, I have not gotten it.
Okay, then let me go try to get that straightened out because I've already paid for the motor. You know how it works.
Right. I mean,
so hang on to it if you can. If you can't, I'll figure something out. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll go to the post office Monday. I don't know what the heck's going on then. If it didn't come to you because I put it, I checked the address and even the post office said that I had your zip code wrong. She checked your zip code against the area you live in and said it's wrong, which they do all the time. She always says it'll be one digit off.
Hello, we didn't. I want to make sure you got the right address. It's 5 North Broadway.
It's 5 North Broadway, but I don't remember what the I don't have the sheet in front of me. It's downstairs. Right. But I got everything right. You called back and checked it, and I read it. I wrote it, and I read it off as you told me what it was the next day when you called back. Well, and I had it right.
If they got the address wrong, the zip code wrong, then they sent it to the wrong place because the zip code that I give you is right.
I had it right. I had it on the sheet, and she changed it. So I'll go back and talk to her Monday. Just
right.
tell her, well, I don't know where it went, but I had it marked right, and you changed it. So where the heck is my money?
Yeah.
But I'll go talk to her Monday.
I got it right here boxed up. I've been waiting, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway, Sparky, what's the difference in length between a OS 32 and an OS 25? I know it's longer, but I don't. You wouldn't know about a 25. You don't run them little things.
I got one here, I think.
You run big blocks.
Yeah, I think I got an OS 25 here. Yeah, I do.
I've got a model downstairs, a Humbug, that's set up for an OS 32. But I swan it, that's too much motor for that airplane.
OS 32 is
anything that would pull a Ringmaster will pull a Humbug. It's a small little airplane.
I know Bob Barron, the one I saw him fly at BSC some years back, had a Royal 28 in it.
25.
Royal 28. My goodness, when he had it up here, he had a OS 32 in it, and he had a OS 32 in it in the article. But I kept thinking you were right. I kept thinking I'd seen it with a 28 in it.
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing. Cause I went over and looked at it, talked to him. He's kind of a garrulous old fart once in a while.
Once in a while, he'd be as nice as anybody you ever wanted to meet. The rest of the time, he was as cantankerous an old cuss as you ever dreamed of meeting.
Yep.
Okay, here's the difference. Here's a 32 and here's a 25.
Just 1 second, Sparky.
Gonna make you big.
Yep. There you are. You're a big fella now.
Raise
Okay,
it up.
I'm talking about the length. What's the length?
Oh, it's considerable.
No, it ain't.
No?
No, they're the same, it looks like. I got to get this drive washer down on it, though.
That thing will drive you crazy.
But you have to have a OS 25F to be the same size as the 32.
No, it's a little shorter. It's probably an 8. No, it's a 1/4 inch shorter in the drive.
1/4 inch. Yeah, that's not going to work then. Okay, well, I can still.
Sparky, is that 25 a F motor or not?
FP.
Yeah, it's got to be a FSR.
I have an FSR. I have an OS 25 FSR.
They're the same. It's the same case and everything as the 32.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll put that in there then. Well, that's not going to be any lighter though. That thing's heavy. Well, I'll work something out. Anyway, I was hoping I could put OS 25 in the thing and let that run, because that 25 is a little powerhouse.
I think you'd do fine with the 25 in there, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna try it. I got to try it because I want to put the 32 in a Tucker Special. I saw Sparky's running on the tube, and that was impressive. You know, for an old cuss, he flies quite well.
I've heard that.
Oops, he can hear me.
Yeah.
Oops, he can hear me. I gotta watch that.
Let's see what
Sparky, your Tucker looks quite nice in the air.
Thank you.
Looks good on the ground too, but it looks quite nice in the air. I was afraid that gold was going to gold sometimes either overpowers them and they look like in the air, or you just can't see it at all. And that one shows up and it looked really nice. But I still want to see the I don't remember what you called the big Tucker, but I want to see it when it's finished. That's going to be
Mark IV?
No,
I don't know.
Thunder Tiger Pro and the OS 32F are the same case.
Okay, that's cool. The thing got me. Dave Hemstrock talked about building a big Tucker and putting a tune pipe in it. He was going to call it the Mother Tucker, and that's the reason I never built one. That's the reason I never built it.
Tucker.
Yeah. So I said, well, I think I better hold my tongue on that one. So anyway.
Yeah, you don't want to listen.
No, I don't want to get the taste slapped out of my mouth either. I live with a good Christian woman. I do not want to get hurt.
Phil? Hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
That motor says Randy #1 33 on the bottom right there. I don't know if you can see.
Well, Randy has tuned it then.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll find out what happened and get it straightened out next week. Get it back to you. I want the motor because that's going in Aries. That's be a good motor for the Aries because they're powerhouse little motors. It's not quite as powerful as the Tucker as the one we thought it was, but it's still a good motor.
Yeah.
Anybody flying any Ringmasters this weekend?
Yes.
I flew Ringmaster today. I have a couple of flights on a Ringmaster. I'm going to go and submit my my results.
Okay.
Our guys will be flying in the morning. We're meeting at 8 o'clock, 11 of us. And now we don't do it like a lot of the clubs. We went to Raleigh or someplace, I can't remember where, last year. And they were putting up just take off, fly 4 laps and land, and that's flight. That's not a flight. We fly pattern. We take off. Tommy and I will be flying AMA patterns, and the other guys will be flying old-time patterns, but we'll be flying patterns. But
cool.
We have a good time with it. We have a lot of fun with it.
It's whatever you enjoy.
Well, that's it.
You gotta put a streamer on the back of one once in a while.
No.
That's how we used to fly them.
Hey, we have too many combat guys right here. Guys like that dude up in the corner up there. They fool around and you think they're just mild mannered flyers, and then all of a sudden they come up and chew your butt off. And no. These guys get mean when they say think it's a combat match. They get mean.
Hey, careful! You're getting him excited. He's starting to look in.
I mentioned the great paper tail. That's all it takes, man.
That's all it took. He's leaning in, looking and seeing what we're.
I got my interest peaked when Len said, "Who's flying Ringmasters?" We are flying Ringmasters tomorrow. Sam,
awesome.
Grab show them what we got.
Awesome.
Can't see. You got your camera off.
My camera's off.
Yeah.
No, your camera's
No, I
on.
see you.
I see.
Yeah,
You.
I don't
I
see
see
it.
it.
Let me,
I see it.
I see him and
change
Sam
my
shoulder.
video quality and see if that helps.
Awesome, Sam.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't see but Sam's left shoulder. That's it.
Can you see me now?
No, I see a big red circle with
I
an
see
M
you
in it.
fine.
Nobody can see me?
I see you fine.
I will see you fine, Mike.
Thank you
you
very
got a
much.
trim tab on.
I've got a brownish, reddish circle with an M in it.
Yeah.
That's a sharp looking Ringmaster.
Yeah, this is the one Masahiro Matsui from Japan gave to Samuel at Brodax 2 years ago.
Ah, okay.
It weighed 23.6 ounces.
Wow.
He built it out of a Brodak kit, but it's a take apart. He built this as a take apart
Cool.
and brought it to Brodax, put it together there, flew it, and then gave it to Sam. It's covered in Jap tissue, super light, real nice. Got a really nice custom. Let me see if I tank on it. See that tank? It's kind of wedged.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bigger in the back than it is in the front.
Yeah.
It's really, really well
Hey,
built.
Luke builds them.
What's it got? An LA-25?
Yeah, LA-25 up front.
Perfect.
And
Awesome.
then we got Sam's junior Ringmaster that we built when he was like 6. We don't fly this that often. We only usually pull it out for Ringmaster Day, but
We have lots of those.
Yeah, junior with
Lots.
LA-25.
15.
This LA-15. I'm sorry, yeah, 15. And this one weighs like 14 ounces, so it flies really good on 52-foot lines.
Do you have a lot of tail weight in that one or not?
Actually, there's no tail weight in it at all.
Wow. I needed
None.
a ton in mine to balance it. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah. No. And then we got the Phil, because you were talking about combat. I know it's not a Ringmaster, but it's the Sterling 51.
P51, yeah.
Ringmaster wing, right? It's a
That's what it
Ringmaster
is.
wing. So while
That's what it
Sam's
is.
putting up Ringmaster flights, I'm going to put this up at the same time, and we're going to put streamers on and chase each other.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Cool.
Hey, Mike, just so you know, it's not shown on YouTube, Mike. Your show and tell. It's not.
That's
It's not being streamed.
And then just for kicks, we're going to bring the 061
Mosquito.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, going to go make
I
some
love
noise
twins.
with that. So, and we are headed to we're headed to Huntsville, Alabama, to fly with the North Alabama Control Line Association guys, which is Ty Marcucci and John Rist, and I'm not sure who else is down there. But it's only it's about an hour and 10 minutes for us to go down there. Normally we had a ringmaster flying at the RC club last year because there are a couple guys that fly control line, and we did the ringmaster thing last year. But they've got Extreme Flight RC is coming in from Atlanta this weekend. They're having a big event there, and the events they have at these RC club, they start on Friday and they go through Sunday, and there'll be 50 RVs there and guys camping all weekend. So they'll be camped out on our control line circles.
Wow.
I'm sure they're eating chili and drinking beer right now, and then tomorrow's the crawfish boil. But this is Extreme Flight is like the big giant 3D gasser guys. You know
Yeah, I can't Chip. Is it Chip Hyde or is it?
Yeah, Chip Hyde.
That group is. I mean, they're a heck of a lot of fun to be around. They're neat guys, and they don't put you down for flying control line as long as you fly. That's all. They're a cool bunch. But
it's just a matter of space for us. They'll be taking over the whole field. So
they will. There's a bunch of those guys.
We're going to go down to Huntsville and see Ty and those guys. So that's what we're doing.
Well, tell Ty hello. I wish I'd get down there. I want to get to their contest again, but I haven't been in several years. I hadn't been in several years, but I want to go down there again. Ty's a neat dude. And there's another guy down there. I wish I could remember his name. I think of it 2 minutes after I sign off tonight. I'll think of his name. But my first contest, he showed up there, him and his wife, and showed me a Fox 4 bolt. And, I had to have one after that. But terrible engine. Terrible engine. But I had to have one.
I'm lucky that I'm left-handed because I am having all kinds of problems with my right hand today.
What'd you do?
Well, yesterday I spent the whole day pruning back my knockout roses, trimming my boxwoods, cutting back my hydrangea. It was a yard day, chopping and clipping.
I've got to do that.
And even though I'm left-handed, but I fly left-handed, but I use tools right-handed. So I was doing this all day, using pruning. And I was out there for about 6 hours, and I can't hardly move my damn hand and wrist today, man.
Yeah, you should see how
it's getting old fun.
It looks all swollen on the video.
It does look swollen.
It looks like you punched a wall with it.
No, it's not that swollen. Man.
Yeah. When you hold it up, you can see on the video, you can really see the difference, Mike.
You can see veins and all on your left hand, and your right hand looks like a.
Yeah, it looks like you hit a wall with it.
I might stick it in a bucket of ice or something tonight. That's all right. I got an electric starter. I might use it tomorrow. But at least I can fly.
I'd be later, you guys go up tomorrow. We got a freeze warning here.
What's that?
So we got a freeze warning here for tomorrow morning. So we'll see how many guys show up at 11 o'clock. Today it made it to 47. It was so cold out there that we just kept going back in our cars. Well, the wind was blowing about 5 to 8 miles an hour. But at 47 degrees, man, it just chills you to the bone.
Oh, gosh. 67
the Detroit
here.
guys will be out tomorrow, Steve.
What?
They'll be at Rouge tomorrow in Detroit. I took a ringmaster up to the combat contest and gave it to Ron Colombo so they'd have one to fly.
Awesome. They'll have fun with that.
Well, we're supposed to have one tomorrow here, this side.
Oh, yeah, we'll be flying.
And then Chelsea, which is about halfway over, John Paris, I'm supposed to go there later in the afternoon and fly with them guys. But I'm not going to go all the way to Detroit. But we'll see. I guess maybe I can warm up from Grand Rapids to Chelsea because it's a 2-hour drive. But it's going to be cold here tomorrow, real cold. So we'll see how many guys show up. Supposed to have them coming out of Kalamazoo and everything coming up here to fly. So, but we'll see.
As far as I'm concerned, the colder the better. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's get out there and get flying some ringmasters.
Yeah.
Is Dick coming, Steve?
Yeah.
Is
That's
he?
good.
Did you hear what
Well,
Dick did? Did you hear what Dick did?
Well, hang on. Before you tell that, just let me tell him the Super Spider lives again, man.
All right.
I just finished covering the wing brake and changed the wheel. So tell him the Super Spider is back in action again, because I know he saw that Sam crashed it down in Canton, Georgia, but she's ready to go again. So let him know.
Cool. I will. Yeah. Dick put his hand in a prop.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
All the way to the bone.
Oh, no. Not a big one, I hope.
Probably like an FP40, I would think, but he was working on a new 60 size airplane, and I don't know. He was going to throw my that one. God, my lane's gone. The one that you fly, Charles, all the time. What's the name of them?
The CRS
It's
was
the
real.
Stalker 81.
Yeah, this is a Stalker 61 long stroke.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's got
And
a
I-
kick.
And I told him, I said, well, I haven't used it. Throw it on an airplane. So, but I haven't found out which airplane he actually stuck his hand in the propeller. But man, did it cut it bad.
Wow. Yeah, we got to be careful on these props.
On the bench, he reached through the prop to adjust the needle.
Yeah. I don't know how we lose our mind momentarily. I just hope it doesn't happen to me. Lose our
I
mind.
don't have one to lose.
I can't lose my mind. It's already lost.
Yes.
Hey, Mike.
I know what you mean.
Have you flew that oh shit.
Oh no.
Swear jar.
The other airplane you got, the Cardinal.
Yeah. We put a 25 on that and a clunk tank, and we flew it, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, I guess.
And it's
You didn't try to fly that double star on it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Cardinal, the Brodak full fuse 25 Cardinal that you gave to Sam, the prototype.
You flew that one.
Oh yeah, we've flown that a bunch.
yeah.
We've flown that a bunch, and it's good. Yeah, it's good. But no, the Cardinal that I got in that deal, that's actually when I get done hanging this up, the double star 40 is going back on it, and I got to find a new tank for it because the tank was so crapped up I couldn't get it cleaned out unless I take it apart. But no, have not flown that Cardinal yet.
Right.
Sparky,
I'll be
you
back
might know
in a
this
second.
guy. Sam, get the Cardinal and see if Sparky knows this number.
Is there a full fuselage Brodak size Cardinal?
Yeah, I'll show it. I'll show it in a little bit, Phil.
Brodak
Sparky, I got
Brodak wanted a lot of smaller size airplanes because it's coming out with its Brodak 15 and 25. So he had several of us draw up, designs. Like I did the pacemaker, the British version.
That's a not. Oh, I don't know about the British version.
Well, it's the same one. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Anyway, I did quite a few of them, and I think he had somebody else do the 25 size Cardinal.
Yeah, I've got it, Phil. I'll show it to you.
I might see that. Charles, don't do that. Them darn things are contagious.
I'll try not to.
Sparky, I ended up with a bunch of stuff from a guy who bought it from a guy in Lexington, Kentucky. And do you recognize that AMA number, Sparky?
No, it's a
70,
CD. No.
5870. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know anyone who flew control line who put little kites on their airplanes? Because all the airplanes I have this little kite sticker on them.
No, but he was a CD. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to find out who this guy was because I ended up with 4 airplanes of his. And this Cardinal is only like 41 or 42 ounces. It's got a double star 40 that came on it. It's well built, you know, and it's light. And what's the other one we got, Sam? The Oriental. I've got an Oriental that's 31 ounces with a Fox 35 on it. Very light,
that'll be great.
very, very well built as well. So this guy obviously knew what he was doing. And I mean, there's no other identifying markings other than his AMA number and that kite. He had a kite on every airplane, that little kite sticker. So I was told that like Win Paul flew up there in Lexington, and a couple of other more notable stunt guys were from that area.
Yeah, Win Paul's up there.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, y'all continue. I'll dig out that.
Ask how mine doesn't run.
We got one right there.
So
yeah, I got a question on the Lightroom. Go ahead and finish there, Steve.
The other thing I was going to show you guys, this is the primer from Harbor Freight. And I just saying, you know, this isn't real big, but I sanded all this with about a 2x2 piece of sandpaper.
Right.
It never clogged it. If you look up, it just dusts off like the Napa stuff.
Wow.
I just use that on my.
Huh?
Is it lacquer?
I think it is. I don't know what it is, but it damn sure works good.
To get you high?
Yeah, it'll get you high.
Then it's probably lacquer. Okay,
I use
question
it-
on the Lightroom. Or the what are you? Lightburn. Who was it that was telling me about this?
That was me.
That was Tom.
Okay, I installed it. I let it find my laser, and it asked me where home was, and that's the lower left corner. But when I bring something in, create a new object, starts it up off in the top left corner. Is it going to see that and be in the right spot?
I do not know for sure.
It seems pretty intuitive. I mean, does it? Do you know anything about it? Do I have to convert this to G code, or will it just cut?
I haven't used it personally. I just know that everybody that has laser likes it and says that's the best software to use.
I don't see any place to push for cut.
Cycle start button somewhere. How do you program that thing? What's his programming? Mach 3? What software are you running on it?
I'm using a program now called Lightburn. I was using Inkscape, and you have to write G code for the laser. But it saw my laser, and this seems like a pretty easy program.
So you're not running G codes, right? Is that correct?
No, he is.
I was running G codes. I just opened this program, Lightburn. I don't know where the cut button is, and if I have to convert it to G code. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, it's usually you load some program in a machine of some sort. Usually it's a G code of some sort, and then the machine runs that G code. Most programs are used as a CAD CAM package, which you have a CAD package that draws the part, and then you use the CAM package to create a G code. Put a cutter path on your lines that you drew over there. So, and then you download that program into your machine, and the machine runs that code, if it makes any sense.
Lightburn file. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna have to go through more instructions, I guess. Yeah. Why can't they make this shit easy?
Swear jar.
If it was
Because
easy,
it's not
anybody could do
easy.
it. Yeah, if it was easy, anybody could do it. If it's easy, I could do it.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine that did it, and he said there's some kind of different programs out there that are in like 3D and 2D.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing 3D, don't use the 3D pro because they're so much harder to use. To go to a 2D program like you do for the vinyl cutters and stuff like that. And it's a whole lot easier than to do that than trying to use a program that can do 3D because there's just so much more that's needed. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said, that they went, to a 2D.
All programs are 3D. There's no such thing as a 2D program. Even a 2D cut is going to be 3D because you have XY. Say with XY, it's in a horizontal plane where you are doing the cutting. All the moves are in XY, but then you have to pick up the tool to go to the next cut to your clearance plane, and then it's in Z. So that's 3D. Even though what you're probably talking about is software that can do better, like a 2D kind of cutter path, or it's more suited to that. But when
trying the laser cutters, they just turn the laser off instead of picking it up. But some of
laser
them
cutters usually they have two modes. They have like a light, they shoot a light and then they shoot a laser. So what people do, they set up a piece of material over there. They shoot the light into one corner of the piece of material, which is your offset, your zero offset, and that depends on how you set it up in your machine. And then you hit go button, and it just works from that corner. Considers that corner that you shoot the light on as your 0, XY coordinate.
Yeah, this front, I don't know, because I guess that these laser printers can. Some of them, I think Sparky does that too. It has a mill on it.
I can do a mill or a laser.
Right. So that with the mill, you can mill X and Y and not actually, like you said, you gotta pick it up. But
yeah, you still have to put the Z in there.
That's set in the G code. You set the Z axis to whatever you're going to cut, and that's what it is. But if you're going to do it in 3D, there's several different locations for the Z axis. That's when it's got 3D.
Even in 2D, you still have that. You have to tell the machine where the top of your part is. Because otherwise,
light burn in under 15 minutes.
What?
I'm going to open up. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to open up this YouTube video so you can learn light burn in under 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
That's a good way to go. Yeah.
So get back on if you learned it in 15 minutes. We'll still be here.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll see you in 15 minutes.
And Sparky, dream on about the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It might be
Okay,
15 minutes.
Next Friday.
You can do it in 15 minutes.
See you next Friday.
Oh, that's you're right. Tom. I gotta switch the calendar. Today is October. That's right.
You forgot that.
Yeah. Actually, I did. I was thinking that, but it slipped my mind.
I'm looking at mine. It's still in July.
Cat knocked mine off the net.
It's still in July.
You're blaming your cat, huh?
Well, it knocked it off the table here. Now it's up against the wall, and I can't reach back there to get it.
It's Cat's fault.
Yeah.
It has to be Cat's fault.
Cat's fault.
I gotta find my calendar.
I don't even have a cat. That sounds good to me.
And John Paris, then, because I told him he did all of his new PA airplane with this primer, and he said it worked good for him too. So,
Well, that's good.
It's so damn cheap.
I did my own timer with it, so we'll see. My new humongous is covered in that, and you can build it up and build layers up if you have a place where you had to make a patch. I mean, I know you guys never have the problem, but doggone, that's pretty.
Yeah, look who's on there this time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look who that is.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're famous now, Tom.
Son of a bitch.
Did you say famous or infamous?
Let's all pray that this one goes fast so we can change pictures.
It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, infamous or famous.
Gary didn't even see it. He's asleep over there. Gary,
Hey, wake up, Gary.
we're showing your calendar.
Ah,
Yeah, take a break. Maybe you're tired.
I don't
Yeah.
even see Gary. He's not even here on my screen.
He's not. Huh.
He's on
Well,
mine.
I got him.
I got him. I see him every time he goes like this.
mine
That
was
is-
that.
That's so crazy because he's not. I only have 9 people here. Oh, there he is. Now he's waving.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Mine is actually.
I don't know what was going on. Once Sparky got off, and then I went to 9, and then it was okay.
Yeah, mine was acting up this morning or the first. It was all black, and he just whoever talked popped their picture in. When they stopped talking, it would go back to dark, and then. But now you're all on there now. Well, except M and L, but.
Oh, now trying. Now he's back. I don't know if it's my computer or
mine's doing it
something
too.
else is going on.
Yeah,
Something
it's
cut
kind
me
of.
off.
Lennon's on, but his
Yeah,
picture's
something
on.
cut me. Something cut me off.
Thank God.
Keep it up. Keep it up, wise guy.
Hey guys, I went out flying today, and it was 100 degrees out there. And so I was flying my red Strega, and I had the stalker, the new stalker in it, and I had cut down on some of the nitro, and that noise I thought I was hearing went away. So it's running really nice.
Cool.
And the good news for me is, last time I flew my red Strega, I was getting such a vibration, I thought that the front end was going to come off. And so I changed the motor. So now I realize that the plane's fine. My old motor has a problem. So I'm going to take off the rear cover plate and take a look at it. I mean, that old engine's pretty much rebuilt with the exception of the piston and sleeve and conrod. So maybe my conrod is out, but the crankcase and the crank shaft and the cover plate are all new. The only thing that I think that are old is the head, piston and sleeve, and the conrod.
Check the bearing.
There it is.
Okay.
Check your bearing, but also if you don't want to fool with
Not a
that,
40 size?
if you just don't really want to fool with it, send it
No,
to
that's
Tom
that
Dixon.
25 size.
He'll fix
Never
it,
made
charge
it
you
in
for the parts.
Rodak. There was like 5 of them made or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Do you
How
hear?
does it fly, Mike?
Do you hear what Phil said there, Charles?
Sorry, Phil.
I got a little bit confused. I heard something about the bearing, then I didn't hear him. What'd you say?
Okay,
Phil?
if you need work on a stalker, if you'll send it back to Tom Dixon, he will fix it and send it back to you for the parts and the shipping.
Right. Yeah,
He didn't charge
really
me. He didn't charge me anything for the labor. It was just the parts and the shipping is all he charged. So I mean, it was. I don't know. I guess he does that for everybody.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's a really good guy. I mean, matter of fact, I get quite a bit of correspondence from Tom. I mean, I'm actually behind the reading, but he's not really, I guess, doesn't type and on the computer and all that. So he writes, prolific writer, and we've been going back and forth about some Christianity kind of stuff.
Yeah. So. Cool. Well, I'll tell you, Tom's a great guy. I've known him for 50 years, I guess. And I met him when I first got into this through Tom Looper, and he's a great guy. He is a bit opinionated on some things. If you think, my God, why is he getting? Tommy was I've forgotten the name of what he did for a living.
Psychiatrist.
Well, he's not really a shrink. He's a psychologist.
There you go.
But he's a great guy.
Oh, you have to convince me. I've met
but
Tom.
He's a guy that I've told him for years. I know him well enough that I have told him for years, Tommy, I know you're a psychologist, if I ever knew anybody who needed a psychologist. And I've gotten away with it so far. So
Yeah,
I know him pretty well. He's a great guy. But
yeah, he is. And I mean, I've called him for advice when I was first started off my stalker, even my double star. I mean, I've been talking to Tom. We're talking about Tom Dixon. I've been talking to Tom Dixon for about, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years. So I consider him a friend. And
He's a good guy to call for advice.
Yeah, he is.
And,
He is.
and if you need something, you
even
need something
flying.
control line. If you need to know something control line, Tommy will either know it,
He's the guy,
or he will know who to tell you to call.
Well,
He is really in the know.
You won't ever get a faster turnaround on an engine than anybody but Tom Dixon. You send him a LA-46 to set up, you got it back in 7 days.
Yeah, he's unreal.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
good.
I think the day he
great.
gets it, he does it, and then he ships it out the next morning. His turnaround time is incredible on his stuff.
The only challenge I have is that my engines, the parts come from the Ukraine. It takes months to get the parts.
Well, he has some of the parts though. He has some parts
He
in
doesn't
stock.
have the 81s. He's never sold an 81. I got an 81 from another gentleman, and Tom has never sold an 81. I mean,
Well,
he knows
that's
about it. I mean, the 76 is very close to it, but he
That's
doesn't.
about to change because I've already told him I want one first of the year.
Okay, cool.
Did you run your 77 yet, Phil?
76, yes. I'm gonna fly it again. In fact, I'm looking at it right there in the floor. But it's I'm looking at the Max Beast, but it's a great running engine. It's easy to start, no nitro, runs great, about pulls your arm off.
How do you like that brake on it?
I like it. It's not as pronounced as some of them I have seen, but then mine has 6 or 7 flights on it, so it's still breaking in.
Did Stalker just have to make a bigger engine than Randy Smith? They had to make an 81.
Randy made a 91 pipe
because of
motor.
Roadjet had the 90 there for a while, and
for a while. I can still buy one if I want one.
Yeah,
Randy. Well, he'll build anything you want.
Len, you need
airplanes, Len. I got 2 of them. I got my Roadjet.
Go ahead.
I have my Roadjet 90, and I have one from Windy.
Lord have mercy.
Well, that's because you guys are on the metric system up in Canada, Len.
You guys must be bears because I'm telling you what, that's a lot of motor. Put that on a pipe, holy crap!
Oh, I wouldn't put it on a pipe, but
I actually there's a guy out here in the West Coast. I can't think of his name, but he has ran his Stalker 81 on a pipe, and he said it looks good. But I like how my 81 runs without a pipe. I mean, it's just
I'm the same with the 90s. It's the same thing. I like how they run without the pipe. I don't need a pipe.
What? The propeller diameter is bigger than the wingspan?
I can easily swing 16 inches.
I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
I ain't touching that.
Boy, Len, that was...
Hey,
I'm gonna get.
This is a family-friendly operation here, boys. Come on.
You remember he's from Canada, and the metric system's a whole lot different.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, that's right.
Depends on what part of the woods you're in.
Yeah, woods.
Never
You're not
mind.
kidding.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
We're gonna leave the wood alone too.
All right, so can we talk about this Cardinal now?
Yeah. How do you think it flies?
It flies
looks
good.
good.
Flies okay.
Yeah.
That was going to be a kit, or was a kit, or what?
No, it was going to be
So
a
Phil,
air
this is one of 3 prototypes that were built of the Brodak 25 Oriental or Cardinal, full fuse Cardinal. Bob Zambelli built these, and Steve Hines had this and gave it to Sam. I think Wayne Foster has one, and I don't know where the other one is.
Vince Brody has it. here in Michigan.
Vince Body. Oh, Vince Body has it. Okay. So, but it's 25 size, full fuse, cardinal.
That's just cool. I'd like
Is
to
a
get plans for
25
that.
enough power for that thing?
It is actually, yeah. I got a what do I got on there? I got a 10-4 on it, and I put a clunk tank in it, and then I shortened up an OS muffler. I did the El Ferraro thing, you know, where you cut it in half and just use the tail cone on it.
Yeah. How'd you fix that in there? Glued or what?
JB weld. Yeah, just JB weld, man. It's the
Okay.
tail cone cut off and
Yeah.
then cleaned up and then just shoved in there with JB weld, man. I saw El Ferraro does mufflers like this, and then I shined it up on the buffer a little bit, and took all the fins off too on the.
Yeah, I do that with a
So what is
regular
that?
one.
Just an OS-25 muffler?
Yeah, that's an OS-25 muffler, Len.
Just cut down. Okay,
That's
cool.
Well, not cut down, just the back section taken off because
Okay,
it's a
I see what you
two-piece.
mean.
And then the
Yeah.
part that has a little angle on it, you just lock
Yeah,
that
cut.
off, and
Okay.
JB welded in there. So it, you know,
Good idea.
saves you a little bit of weight,
Yeah,
and it still works.
cool.
But yeah, it's a shame this was never kitted, man. There were just a couple of prototypes built, and
Well, I know that he has 3 more airplanes that are going to come out.
Who does?
Brodak will have 3 more kits. That
Really?
was what the last thing that the last time we got together and flew. I'll tell you what, brain fart's real. Anyway, the last time we all got together and we're talking about Brodak's kits with Bill before he passed, he was telling us that Brodak had told him that there was 3 more kits that were going to do over the next 2 years. I don't know why it's going to take 2 years, but over the next 2 years there will be 3 more kits that they've already consigned to do, and I don't know what they are, and I don't think Bill knew what they were, but I hope that's one of them. That's a cute airplane. I like that.
Yeah, Daniela is gone from Brodak now.
Who?
Donella. She worked there in the factory.
I didn't know her.
There's Jan and Nikki.
And Patty.
Jan, Nikki, and Patty.
Patty retired.
No, well,
No,
I don't
she's
know.
back. She
I don't
tried to,
think
but
she
she's
did.
back.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah.
Back.
She's over in them people, Nikki and Patty, are over in the hobby shop. You got John
In the
Parker.
Yeah.
You had Jan. You had
Jan's a
Donella.
manufacturer.
And what's the? I can't think of the two, Donella and the other sister.
I can't think of her name either.
Yeah, she's.
Well, I know Patty's still there because I just ordered another Brodak SV11 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I picked up another one. I bought the one and built it, and I'm flying it. And I was like, I better get another one before they run out, because she told me they didn't have any arcs, or they're running out of arcs. She's like, we've got arcs, but we don't have many arcs. So I bought another one, and then 2 weeks ago, just right after the memorial, I called and ordered another one. So I got 2 SV arcs in the box sitting on the shelf, just put away for a rainy day, you know,
Right.
just in case, because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, and I'm not speculating on anything, but who knows if they'll ever order another 200 ARF SV11s from China, man. I mean, you know, so
yeah.
I don't want to be the guy looking for one in 3 or 4 years. Like, where can I find one?
You going to leave, John?
Want to
Oh,
talk?
he's going to go eat.
No, I want to talk.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, go ahead.
Trying to talk. I was going to say, the first thing I was going to say was, the thing I always say about stalkers is that they had taken the baffle piston the engine about as far as it can go. It is one of the finest running engines of that style that's out there. But it's not a piped engine. You can run them on a pipe. They have been done, but it's not going to run like your Rojet or a Nelson or any of these things. Now the other, but they will run, and they'll run reliably and true, and they got a nice easy brake, and they'll handle the heck. My Pathfinder LE, that's a big airplane. That runs on a Stalker 51. Okay, no problem hauling it around on a Stalker 51. Now, speaking of a Pathfinder LE, on a 25 size airplanes that Brodek is kitting and is available, there's an airplane that came from me. It's called the Little Ellie. Now think about it for a minute. The Little Ellie and the Pathfinder LE. It's basically a Pathfinder LE that's shrunk down to 25. It has a different style wing on it, has the same airfoil, but it has a Dave Gerke style wing and a couple of other little design changes. But those that have built it have given it a good report on its flying ability. So there's another one if you want to try a small size 25 size airplane. I think it'd be perfect for a Rodak 25 or any other 20. You don't need anything bigger than a 25 for it. So. Okay, now I've said what I wanted to say.
Hey, Sparky, did it work in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Got it up and cutting?
Yeah, I got it. It'll cut. No big deal.
Oh, good. That's great. Hey, Sparky, I got a question for you, Sparky.
Okay.
So I have a Mobuck. I got the 16th balsa wrapped around it, but I needed a 40-inch long sheet of balsa. I only had 36 inches. So what's the best way to add the other part that was short?
Scarf.
Well, I would. Let me get a buck here, and I'll show you.
Scarf joint. John, I hate to ask stupid questions, but where do I get plans to the Little Ellie? Do you have them, or
I
need
have
to order them?
I have them, or you can get them from Brodek.
Okay.
I'd like to get one of those. Go ahead.
Let's say this is 40 inches long or whatever. I would cut it or seam it at a bulkhead or whatever, former, and then form this piece, then form this piece, and then trim this, glue them together with CA, put some 2/10 carbon fiber inside, and saturate it with CA. And that'll glue the two pieces together. That's how I did my Thunderbolt.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, Phil, I'll take care of you on that. I'll get that to you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Sparky.
Looks good,
Sparky. Sparky, got a question for you.
Okay.
There's the high roller right there above your head.
Yeah.
That's the plane I was asking you about. Why did you not do plans to that thing?
I don't do plans.
Man, you do some beautiful airplanes. You need to draw them up.
Who had the yappy dog?
My favorite airplane has never been to the Nats. I wish I would have took it this year. This one here.
My dog thought somebody knocked at the door.
And my granddaughter told us tonight we need a miniature schnauzer. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Those are good little dogs.
Yeah, she can get it. I think
Oh,
we'll
look at that
take the Monado. Yeah, I've seen that.
Beautiful.
Look at
I
that.
haven't seen that one up close. That's a good looking airplane.
Wow, that is absolutely shining.
That is a gorgeous plane.
You ought to see it up close. That thing is
I
really
have.
pretty. It's pretty. I like that one.
Yeah, I wish I would have flew this one this year, but whatever.
The one that stunned me of all Sparky's
That
airplanes,
is beautiful.
he was at Huntersville, and I had burped his airplane for him, held it while he burped his airplane. And I kept thinking, Lord, this thing's light. A few minutes later, I wished I'd gotten shaken loose in time to go launch for him because somebody put their thumb through his wing. It just made me sick. But I saw the airplane after the incident, after he repaired it, and you can't tell it was hurt. He does some pretty work.
That's the airplane he flew, Charles.
What'd you say, Sparky?
That was the June RXL. That's the one I flew at the Nats this year.
Yep, I love that plane. You know that.
Yeah, I do too. That thing's something else.
Hey, Sparky, when are you going to clear that airplane that you built this year?
I knew that was coming.
I'm going to St. Louis, and I'm going to be painting it. I'll be doing a stencil video probably starting tomorrow. Getting it ready to go. Uh-oh, what happened there? Oh, man.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
I broke my airplane the other night.
Uh-oh. Did you step on it?
I don't know what happened.
Which airplane did you break?
Tucker.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
The big Tucker or the little one?
Little one.
Oh, no. That's a beautiful little plane.
How
What the heck
bad?
did you do to it?
Cracked the fuselage big time.
This,
Oh, boy.
how did you manage to do that?
I don't know. See the crack right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I have a crack in one of my planes from that. I had it sitting on the tarmac at the Nationals, and somebody stepped on the stab. Turned around and just about ran away. Didn't even say I'm sorry, nothing. Just ran. I had to fly my Super Duper Zilch that year. Back up airplane.
Is it all in one color, or did it go through different color paints?
All in one color. I'll repair it. You won't be able to tell.
No, that's
I
good.
believe that.
It didn't hit any of the gold or
No.
whatever.
That's not bad.
I believe that. As
sucks.
Sparky fixes, you'll never know it was damaged.
But why did it crack over there? I mean, what happened? What made it crack? Did you hard landing or something, or somebody smacked
No.
your?
It was sitting on the floor. I stepped on the prop. I heard something go, but I didn't know it was this.
You stepped on a prop. And...
It was nose down. The prop was on the ground. I stepped on the prop and it caught or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's too bad.
That's no big deal. I mean, it just okay. This is good. It's better than crashing it or doing something crazy like that. So yeah, that's repairable for sure.
Yeah,
Especially if you save some paint.
I'm gonna put the CA in it right now. I got it back together. I just dribble the CA down it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're going to use CA or something like Ambroid on it.
No, CA.
It's the only thing to use. CA is the only way to go.
How about like wood glue? Open it up and then push it, put it in, and then you can clean up all the excess and not have to sand the CA.
Yeah, I always worry about a hard little bead there where the...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. 'Cause when I did that, that's like, yeah, you get that hard bead, and then you just have a hell of a time getting that flat, and not seeing it again once you paint it.
Well, Sparky, that's a shame. You can't have a broken model like that. You should just give it to one of us.
Yes,
yeah, I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll volunteer. I'll drive out and get it even. I'll drive
Sparky,
out and
it's
get it.
unbelievable. Can't believe these guys.
Hey guys, I finished polishing the landing gear mold.
Let me take a look at that. Hang on, Tryon.
I think I will use white glue.
Good gracious, wow, that's shiny.
Oh, I need some sunglasses.
Whoa.
Well, did you make them longer?
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Look at that.
That is nice.
Oh, man, it's like it's like looking at the sun. It's amazing. Wow.
That is sharp.
This is on a low light.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is some kind of shiny.
Looks like chrome.
Now, is that a two-piece mold also, or is it just single?
It's a two-piece mold. It's going to be compression molding, And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some unidirectional, some of the fiber that goes in zigzag at plus minus 45 degrees for torsional rigidity. And I'm going to put a foam core inside of it. And in the center of the foam core, I'm going to have like a slit. And I'm going to fill that in with some resin. So I have like an I-beam construction inside of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So,
That'd be nice.
I was gonna say you could get some of that stuff that has different colors in it, and do one up that had color, black and red or black and yellow or whatever.
Wow, that's something else.
yeah. So as you can see, the way this thing works, if you want to look at the details.
Wow.
Good gracious.
The mold part is here, right? And but you have like the excess resin would exit through here and gonna go in these channels. That's what these channels are for here.
Did you machine? Did you do machine on that surface? It looks like you.
Yeah, it is. It is machine.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
So I have these registering pins, one here, one here, on the back side that aligns the two of them so they don't go like this, right?
Yeah.
And then, as you can see, this is tapped for 440 screws right here.
Wow.
So the idea is that you put the material inside on one side, and then you take the opposite surface and just go like this. Boom. It aligns it.
Bolt it together.
Yep.
That's nice.
And then you use the four bolts and you just bolt it in. And that aligns everything.
Really nice.
How long do you let that cure in there?
Overnight.
Now, do you also vacuum bag that or not?
No, you don't need a vacuum bag on this one. It's compression molding. Compression molding doesn't need vacuum bagging.
Okay.
It's a different kind of molding. So yeah, so this guy is compression molding, which means you cut the material a little bit oversized on the foam and you brute force push it into the finished size. And it also pushes the material against the walls of the mold. You have vacuum bagging in which you have a cavity of some sort of whatever mold, can be male or female, it really doesn't matter. So you put in a vacuum bag and then you pull the material on the surface of the mold with a vacuum. Or you can do inflation bladder, where it's like wheel pans, like the molds I showed you the other time for the wheel pans, in which you put a balloon inside the part and you fill it up with air and it pushes, closes the seam, because the seam, so you have the two halves, right? But on one side you go parting line to parting line, on the second side you go above the parting line like that. So the material will extend a little bit past the parting line. And you take those tips of the parting line and you just fold them in like this. So when you close the two halves, they're not going to be folded into the opposite direction, which you don't want to have. And then you inflate the balloon from the inside, you fill it up with air, and the balloon is going to take this seam that's like this, is going to open it. And now the two halves are kind of like this, the material.
Yeah.
So they overlap and they close the seam, that's everything, and just, it also pushes the excess resin from inside the part outside.
Do you spray PVA before you put the carbon fiber in there?
Depends what I want to do. It all depends what I want to do. I want to try something new. I want to try to do the painting in a mold. And somebody gave me some materials that he's actually using. He's using a semi-permanent, but it's also using a mold specialty kind of paint, so you can paint inside the mold. And it seems to work for him. Should work for me too. He's using aluminum molds like I'm using here, and all of that stuff. It's also formulated for the classical molding material that you usually have, like with polyurethane resins and fiberglass and gel coat and stuff like that. So those kind of molds. But
so what keeps the paint from sticking to the mold? Do you wax it or PVA or what do you use?
Semi-permanent is a release system that works like a PVA or wax or something like that, but it is not a PVA or a wax.
Okay. Do you spray it in or?
A lot of them are just super simple. You just put them on a paper towel and then just wipe them down and leave them in. Yep, simple as that.
Okay.
But what I would like to do, this one thing that I really, really want to try is to see if I can go wax only, because a lot of people are doing wax only in the molds and that they have a very good success with it. And I would like to try wax only and some water-based paints. So it's healthier, it's wax only, and I mean, just simplify things and make it otherwise, because those semi-permanents are pretty expensive. So yeah.
And I don't understand something. You've got the wings are one process. The fuselage, I understand, is the same. The wheel pants are different. Now the tail's different, and you want to try something new.
Yeah.
4 different molding processes, sir? And you want to try something new?
No, but that's what you need to use different things for different parts, whatever is the best suited for that.
Well, I understand, but I'm going to tell you what. You are one smart character.
Test it on a small part first.
Yeah.
Of course I do. I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Get on Stunt Hangar and give me your address.
Okay, I can do that. Or if you're on Stunt News, I'm listed in there. But I'll put it on Stunt Hangar.
You can just send me a message, and I got a box today that I can get all this stuff in. So
okay,
you can
make myself a note.
Right now, just click on the 3 dots on his picture.
Yeah, I like to save it though, because I'll write it down on something and lose the damn piece of paper I got the address on.
Okay.
Just like I did with Charles, and it's finally like, just send me it so I can. It's on my phone all the time, and
is your name and address and all on Stunt News? Are you Stunt News member?
I don't think so.
Oh shoot, it's Samantha.
That's Pampa. There's Stunt News Pampa?
Yeah, Pampa Stunt News.
Yeah, my address should be on there and my phone number, I think.
Okay, I'll try to. I'll check that.
I'm not sure what phone number it is, but otherwise, just send me a message in Stunt Hangar, and then
just send a PM here. Just send a PM, a private message in here.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Then I can't save it.
If
I got to
go
write
to
it
the.
down. That's why I want.
If
listen,
you have.
I want a message on Stunt Hangar.
I'll do that.
Does anyone understand that? I hate to get mad. That's what I want. If he doesn't want to smoke on Stunt Hangar, then don't do it.
Looks good, Charles.
I'll do it. I'll do that in the morning. I might do it tonight.
My first time doing this.
Okay.
Looks good.
Thank you.
It looks good, Charles. That looks real good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1/16 also. My first time, I just unwrapped it. It's like a Christmas.
Is it a 1 layer or 2 layers?
This is 1 layer.
Why not mold 2 layers?
Dennis Nunez and Bob Hunt have told me they've done well with just single layers, 1/16.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be lighter, but it's not going to be. You're not going to be afraid of holding the plane when you're launching or whatever.
Well, this one's the top lock, and I have some formers I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to put some Z-epoxy in there for a few minutes, and then wipe it off on the inside to stiffen it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I won't do it again.
Let's see your mold that you pulled off there.
I can't pull the mold off. I got to trim it off because there was a little extra wood on there. I didn't cut the sheet right. So I'm going to cut it like right here. I need to trim this off right here. It's extra wood right there.
Oh, okay.
You know what works very good for that, Charles? Just a X-Acto knife blade and put it vertical and just walk it around. And if you want to make the trailing edge, the back thinner and the front thicker, you just tilt the mold up or down, stuff like that. But you know what? That blade that you put on the bottom is not going to help you a whole lot because that's going to be kind of in a way.
No, actually, I can sit this on the edge of a table like that and put
Okay.
it with the same thick, same height.
Yeah, that will get the job done. That will work.
Cut it perfect.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah, I think I got that from Phil.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I tell you, I believe you got her.
Yeah.
Have you guys been following on Stunt News under the rules section? Not Stunt News, Stunt Hangar. Under the rules section, they've been a discussion on proposal for the four-leaf clover. Have you been following that?
No.
No. What are they talking about doing?
Yeah, the whole thing about where it should be. What was it? The entry point?
Yeah, they're saying,
John.
huh?
I've been following it.
Okay, they're saying that they want you to enter in vertically to the 45-degree point, and then you do your first 3/4 of a loop. There's not a full loop done in the whole thing, and then you come over do your next 3/4 loop. Your next 3/4 loop, you come out and it ends right there at the intersection.
So it starts at the center intersection and ends at the center intersection, a vertical going straight up.
Yeah, and you go straight up. You don't have to go out into the wind. Once you reach the top of the circle, you can level out. Now,
You enter wing over.
Come to the straight over top and then pull out and around.
No, you're flying. Make me big, would you, there, Charles?
All right. You're big now, man. Big John.
Thank you.
You're a big guy.
You're coming along in your flight, and you turn like you're going into a wing over. You hit 45 degrees here, and that's when you start at the 45-degree line. That's when you start your first inside loop.
All right.
Okay. And when you finish up, you come out and you go straight up, and you reach the top of the circle. You can bail out of it now. You do not have to go over to like a wing over at all into the wind. It's not a bad idea, but I think I have a better idea. I'd like to see us enter at the 45-degree line. And if you went past and did the far left loop first, come around, did the outside loop here, come around, do the other one, come out, you come out at 45 degrees. You don't even have to climb into the wind.
So start horizontal at 45 and go the low left, up right.
You go the right hand,
left,
lower one,
low right,
and then you come up. Let's see. Come over, do the left hand lower one. Come up, do the upper inside one, and then you come out straight at the 45. Now the key. That's my idea, my proposal on it. The one that's being proposed is you come up, you've got a tail on the clover, and at 45 you start the maneuver.
Yeah.
You do it climbing up. That's the one that's being discussed.
So kind of do the same thing exactly what we do right now, except instead of entering horizontally, you enter vertical and do that first 3/4 of a loop, right?
Right. That's what the proposal is. It's not a rule yet. It's just they're talking about it.
Hope they don't.
John, as it is, you're not doing 4 complete loops anyway with the clover as described because you're missing that.
The first one is complete loop.
That's why the proposal's in there. It's not symmetrical. You start off with a full loop on the first one, and you come around. Now it's a 3/4 loop, a 3/4 loop, a 3/4 loop, and out through the top.
Right.
They're all 3/4 loops.
270 degrees.
None of them are closed.
First one is closed, and then the 270 degrees. You do not close it. You go up. Catch the next one. Come over. So you're not doing any full loop.
Where does the clover end now? It ends at the intersection point.
Is it into the intersection point?
Yeah.
Top of the
You
circle?
finish it. everybody comes over the top, but that's not in the damn pattern. It stops at the intersection. So you can, once you hit the intersection, you should be able to pull out. But if you don't, you get marked down.
In all my years of flying stunt, I have never seen anybody end the maneuver at the intersection. If
that doesn't mean that's not what the rule says.
Well, I'd like to, whatever it is, most people go on up over and they exit out the other side.
Right, but that's not what the rule says, but everybody expects you to do that.
Well, check
Well,
it
I know
out.
if you watch Fitzgerald fly it, and you watch oh crap, I forgot his name, but Dave Fitzgerald's the best example I know. When he flies a cloverleaf, he never turns around. I'm talking too loud. I go up over the top and I turn around and pivot and come all the way down like a wing over. David Fitzgerald flies his in front of him, and then he brings his hand around behind him, and he's not even watching the plane that much, and brings it around because it ends dead overhead. Is what he told me. I asked him what I did, and he said the maneuver ends straight overhead, so you don't need to worry about it the rest of the way. So he just brings it around.
That's what I was told.
No, that's not true. If you look at the rule book, it starts and ends at the intersection. Starts and ends. Right? Starts and ends there, and everybody flies it over the top. But technically, once you come past 45 in the center, you could round that off and fly it out. But like Steve said, everyone expects you to come over the top. There's nothing in the rule book that says it ends dead overhead or in a wing over pullout. It ends at the intersection.
From what I know, Mike, it does end at the intersection, right? But it doesn't start there. It starts where you start your first loop, which is a little bit off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Right.
All right, that's fine.
The starting point is different. The
But
ending
it
point
absolutely ends at the intersection.
Yes, that's correct. I know that.
Well, I like the idea of flying and doing the far left-hand side first. Come over, you're doing an inside, you're doing an outside. You do another outside, now you do an inside, and you come out at the 45. And if you don't hit 45 in that one, it's going to show. It's going to, you got to, if you're not making a good intersection, it will show. You'll either be high or low coming out of there. So it's something that it's going to take a little
Johnny,
bit.
you talking about? Are you?
Yeah, but so what happens if the judges are watching for that perfect wing over when you exit the maneuver and they put that perfect wing over and you're angled or something? It shouldn't matter. But if they don't see you come out straight up over the top and then nail a bottom,
Mike, we're talking about two different things. I'm not talking about the pattern as we fly it right now. I'm talking about what I would propose, which you go past the intersection and start your first 270-degree loop. Now you're coming straight at the ground, and you do another 270-degree loop outside. Now you hit the 45 again, you do another 270-degree loop. Now you're climbing straight up. You do another 270-degree loop, and you come out. You're supposed to come out at the 45-foot line.
45. Yeah, I see what you're saying, John, changing the order of them. But what I was referring to was everyone thinks that it has to be this exit in a wing over and over the top. How many judges are looking for a vertical exit of the clover and then a nice over the top and pull out when that's not part of the maneuver? The maneuver stops.
Almost every one of them is looking for you to go straight up to the top of the circle.
Right.
That's not the maneuver according to the rules, man. That's not it.
I think we've all lost
the second you finished a fourth loop and cross the intersection, the maneuver's over. You could go blah, and it shouldn't matter.
Right. Samantha got more.
There is the entrance and the exit from the maneuver. It's considered a judgeable portion. The entrance and exits will give you hell if you don't do them very good.
No,
So-
if you don't do it the way the judges think it's supposed to be done. I'm with Steve. The maneuver ends at the intersection. Once you hit the intersection after the last loop, you're done. It doesn't matter what the airplane does after that. They're judging.
Next time you're flying for the judging, you do the 4-leaf clover. When you get done, you hit that intersection, hit a hard turn, and come out in up right side up, and don't go out and put a tail on that maneuver and see what you get for points.
Right. But because the judges,
John, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but it's wrong.
Right.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. And Samantha had that happen at the Nats when they said, "Oh, you didn't finish the maneuver," and it's like she had to argue with them. Hey, it finishes at that intersection because her airplane, being a smaller airplane, did not. She was afraid it would not climb over the top because she was having problems with the wind coming back into it with overheads and stuff. So she just came up when she hit here. She just popped that thing over and flew out. And they should have rescored it because the judges were wrong.
Well, I lost in my first time at the Nats. I missed making the cutoff, which I probably would have been very high in the cutoff, the top 5 probably. I missed making the cutoff at 15 by a half a point because I didn't know how a proper landing is supposed to be judged. When when you are landing and you made your touchdown and you roll out, and then you hit something that's on the field that's beyond your control. You know that they're not supposed to pass that. I didn't.
And if you're on grass, as soon as your wheels touch down, the landing is over.
Well, I was on
There is no rollout on grass, and everybody at tips over like, "Oh, you lost your landing." No. If you read the rules, if you're on grass and your wheels, once they touch the grass, score it. There's no rollout. There's no nothing.
Had I known what I know now, I would have gone and argued with the judges. But I didn't know, and the judges apparently didn't know either, because for what I would consider 35 to 40 point landing, I got 10 points.
But when we were over there at the Worlds,
let me finish. And 20 points, or say 15 points difference, would have put me up in the top 5 in my class for the qualification. So what I'm trying to say is, the reason I bring that up, what I'm trying to say is you got to know what you're doing, and if the judges don't know, you got to know sure enough in your heart that you can argue with it. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And so
when we were in France, they went by the rules, and there was no sliding out of. If you came out, all the Europeans did, and we're like, what the hell? But they go by the rules. They ain't none of this stuff. Well, we want to see this all the way up overhead, the tail end of the maneuver and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with landings. Once the wheels touch, it's done. They judge you on your glide slope down and stuff like that. But when you're on the grass, it's done. I mean, it could ground loop, it could flip and tumble, whatever. You get the same. Is that
in the old time rules? Does anyone know? Is that in the old time rules like that?
I think it's in all the AMA rules. On a grass field, once your wheels touch the ground, that maneuver is over.
I have seen people lose points. They've made a good landing. They've made their rollout. And right before their rollout finishes up, they relax their line level and the plane ground loops. And they lose big points on their landing because of that ground loop. Now, why do they lose points? Because you're supposed to concentrate on that airplane until it stops.
But it's on pavement.
That's on pavement. Most contests are flown on pavement.
Yeah, but what I'm asking.
Only one that we ever fly on pavement is the Nat. Everything else is on grass.
Well, out here, everything is usually on pavement.
Yeah, I practice on grass and I compete on pavement out here in the West.
Wow.
Phil, go ahead, Phil. You want to say something, Phil? Go ahead.
Well, I'm still trying to figure this out. I have a Stunt Wagon 30, and everybody says that's the most bare of an airplane to fly, but I've got one that flies great, and I can land it on asphalt and get a great landing. But on grass, the thing weighs 26 ounces total with a Fox 35.
Right.
When it touches down, it's got a great glide, and it touches down. But as soon as it touches down on grass in Huntersville, it flips over on its back as soon as it touches.
Got to move your wheels forward.
You can't on a Stunt Wagon. It's got to stay where it is.
No, you don't.
Well, you don't. You really don't, because I have.
The designer was questioned on that, and he said they moved the wheels everywhere on that airplane.
Yeah, but when you go to the contest, they won't give it to you. They won't let you do it.
Huh.
You just got to have the rule book with you and then point out.
I've got a paper that he wrote. He sent me a note, and he said, Stunt Wagon had a drop-off gear. Anywhere you want to put a landing gear on that thing, put it, because the plane was not designed with a landing gear. It used a takeoff carriage. It did not have a landing gear. That's the reason you will not see. You'll see a wheel on that full thing. You will never see a wire going to it.
Right.
He did not draw the wires. He did not show the mounting point, because it was not designed with a landing gear. It was designed with a takeoff gear.
Of course, Phil, probably to be right on that airplane, you're going to have to fly it like he did, 90 to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, really. I don't think I can handle that. I've tried combat ships that didn't go any faster than that. I can't keep up with them. I sure don't want to fly a stunt.
Yeah.
At that kind of speed. But I do. I've got a Stunt Wagon 30 that's as cute as anything I've got, and it flies. It's one of my favorite planes to fly. But landing on grass, forget it.
Yeah.
On asphalt, I can grease one, but on grass, it is it's not impossible. But if the grass is like Huntersville always is, you always hit a ant hill or a
It's four.
Nose over. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, let me interrupt for a second if I can. I want to bring in the guys from the chat. I have been behind. Todd Simpson's painting and listening to us, and he's enjoying the control line stories. And then Jeff Riley said to, I guess it's personally to me, he said it's finally cool enough to work too well. He's building these paint stands for John Miller and myself, and he said his neighbors are complaining about his grinder. And then Gerald Wimper says, hello, Charles and Sparky and all those on Stunt Hangar. Been flying ringmasters for the Ringmaster Flyathon this morning. And then Jeff Riley commented that he still wants to see the outside triangles added to the list of maneuvers.
With the point down.
Yeah, with the point down. Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, my goodness. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Oh, that'd be fun.
I've seen Todd Lee fly a, I don't know what the heck you call it, but it was two triangles on top of each other with the points at the top and the bottom.
That's a diamond.
And he made it work.
Yep.
With a Dolphin, Fox 35 powered Dolphin.
Wow.
Todd Lee can fly. Todd Lee can fly. The man is a real pilot. He's amazing. But I tell you what, though, I had another question. It slipped my mind, but I'll think of it in a minute. Go ahead.
Maybe we should have a new class. I'm thinking we should have a new class of compulsory maneuvers, in which the organizer is just concocting something, like a horizontal 8 in which you put the square in the front and a round on the back side, a vertical 8 with a square on the bottom and a triangle on the top.
Like
just go nuts,
the
old
then used to be like that.
And then they put like a pattern, stuff like that. So, or maybe combine maneuvers, like you do a square and a triangle. Or something like that. Just go crazy, have fun with it, And but anything, you can put a circle on top of a square for a vertical 8, right? So you do like a square, and then you pop into a round and go square again, and pop into a round. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, just think about it. Instead of doing a vertical 8 or an hourglass, the bottom is a square, an inside or an outside square. The top of it is a triangle. So
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
You
Guys
do a
like me would never
square,
be able to remember.
and then you do a triangle at the top of it. It's kind of like
Yeah, I mean, go nuts. I mean, just combination of
you gotta have one that looks like the front of a house, and you go up and you start a triangle, but you got to put a chimney here, and then
yeah, call it the house. You know, the house vertical.
That's funny.
Or maybe do like a square in the center with two triangles on both ends. You know, looks like
you could do a family one too. You could do the face of the woman, you know, and you have to put whifferdiffles across the top.
Come on. Something reasonable, right? It's somewhat achievable, right? So,
well, they did have a maneuver in the old mirror meet. I think they called it a whifferdiffle. You went up and you're doing loops up over the top, you know, and you come down and you like a wing over, but you're doing these loops across the top as you go up and over. Tight loop.
That's when they had planes that would do a loop in 36 inches, you know?
That's why we got 5 foot radius in the rule book, huh?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that either. I don't think there's a plane that can actually do that.
The only plane I've ever seen that looked like it could really do it was one of the ugliest things I've ever seen, and it had a tapered wing like a combat ship, but where it came to a point in the front, the motor was over here. It was mounted off the side of the tapered wing.
That's Mackey's Monster.
That's it. That's the closest to it I've ever seen. He had that thing at Tucson one year and did it at Tucson. And I filmed it, and I got back and looked at it. And I said, that's as close to a 5 foot radius turn as you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
That thing looked like it was just. I mean, he did a square that looked like you could throw a football through it. I mean, it was just Mackey's a nut.
Oh yeah,
crazy. He's crazy, but he can sure build a pretty airplane, and he can fly. Who was the cat that came out there and flew a stunt pattern with a monoline airplane?
That was he designed the Stinger. His son, California guy. Come on, guys.
I can see the video because that video of the VSC, the first VSC, they're talking about it.
He worked for Dale Kern.
Dale Kern.
He worked for Cox.
He's a big speed guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a big guy.
He if you were a kid and you went over his house with a broken engine, you'd walk away, you'd have at least one, maybe two that were better than the one you walked in with, because he had all these parts sitting there. You could make them up.
Yeah.
So, John, how does a single line control work?
Monoline. You've got a handle and you've got a slider, and the rod that's going out is turned. So you hold this thimble, you hold it, and as you turn it, it twists the line. And that line then, inside the airplane, there's a receiver in it there with a how do you put it? With
worm gear.
Huh?
Like a servo with a gear reductions kind of thing?
No, it had like a thimble on it. It had like teeth. You know,
it's a worm gear.
A worm gear. Yeah, it has a worm gear on it. And so as you pull it
one
way, it turns it one way, and you go the other way, it turns it the other way, and that's how you get your up and your down. And they're real popular at one time in combat, if I remember correctly.
What about speed?
And speed, very much popular speed.
They're still popular speed.
Yeah, and they had a stunt unit. There was $1,000 prize offered by it was not Stanley, but something like that. Stanzel, yes.
They made the monoline torque units.
Right.
Yeah.
They had $1,000 prize for anybody who won the Nats using the monoline And Dale Kearns tried really hard. He had a Thunderbird type of Thunderbird 1 with the Stanzel unit in it, and he got pretty good at it, but he never won the NATSA. His son was the last one I saw that flew it. He brought his son to VSC, and his son had been practicing with it. He flew a pattern. It was okay. It wasn't going to win anything, though. But he tried.
Well, Tom should know this is flown on solid wire too, not on braided wire. This is solid strand wire. So
and it's not 15 thousandths. It's a little thicker.
No, like 21.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
just about 21 thousandths, and it was neat.
Right now, everybody's using these hardpoint handles because you have a very, very rigid and very instant reaction to the bell crank when you give it input, right?
Right.
And people start to walk away from those handles that have those flexible, thicker, braided kind of cables, because they have spring into them. So I can imagine that monoline have so much lag into it that could be hard to make the plane really react at the precise moments that you need to.
I think that has something to do with it. Plus, your range of motion was pretty far to get to throw you. But on the other side, that was back before we were limited to 70-foot lines. They would fly these things on 100, 150-foot lines with a monoline.
Good gracious!
Wow. Yeah, you'd be doing 70 miles an hour and be doing 3-second lap, and not doing 7-second laps.
But still, the longer the lines, the faster you have to fly. The faster you have to fly, pulling out those 5-foot bottoms are just exactly where you need to. You say, okay.
Yeah. The faster you go, though, the more lift you got available. So.
Yeah, but still, it's a lag. It's like you have to torque the line before even the worm gear starts to spin back there in a plane. So
that's
your
why
guess is as good as mine.
$1,000. Nobody ever won it.
Yeah.
And that was still offered into the 70s or 80s. I think in the 80s it was still being offered, that $1,000 prize.
Hey Jim, you trying to come here? I just see your initials. I'm assuming it's Jim Smith.
All right. Hey, Mike, I think I'm gonna go to Louisiana too. I'd like to go to Louisiana and then hit King Orange after that, and I'm done for the year, I guess. Competition-wise.
Peter, what you got there?
It's we were discussing handles. We're discussing handles, and this is something I built back in the 70s.
Oh yeah!
Oh, what a beast!
Yeah,
what's that? I'm trying to figure that out.
It's adjustable.
Yeah, it's adjustable. Basically, you turn around, you take these two knurls,
right?
And I can turn around at any point, and I can turn around and I can.
So you adjust the amount up. Your bias, not your bias, but if your lines are out or unequal, you can even them up while you're flying.
Yes, exactly. This is something I turned around, and it's a takeoff of something that actually back from the 70s. It's not dissimilar from what Gene Schaefer was using and Bob Lampione was using back in the day.
Bob Barron was using.
It's a takeoff on it. It's a beast. But at least it works for me.
I just looked at the Clover. The Clover does end overhead now on that drawing.
That's what I thought.
It draws that. Now with the ground, it says that they can't mark you down for a rough surface if the airplane bounces and stuff like that. But it doesn't say that they can't if it flips over. So I'm not sure. You know, they talk
I'm
about
not sure either.
they talk about the bouncing on grass and stuff. That is not a markdown.
Well, Steve, I think you're right, and I think they're right. But a lot of times at the pilots meeting, they'll talk about that. If you're flying on grass, they'll say exactly what you said. The landing is over when the wheels hit the ground.
Yeah.
They judge your approach, your glide in your approach, and your final touchdown, and then it's over.
Yeah, I was gonna say for that Clover, then they must have changed that at some time that it finishes overhead now.
Well, they did. Remember when they lowered it from 38 degrees? Then they raised it back up to 42, I think, because it was impossible to fly the pattern, the maneuver as it was described from
38 degrees.
The entrance they were getting.
Oh, okay. So that must have been when they changed it, because somewhere around here I got a printout on the maneuvers, and it shows that starting, you know, to the right hand side of the loop, and then going and finishing at the intersection. But now it shows it up overhead.
That's what I have, Steve. I have that same printout. It shows it stopping at the intersection. That's why I'm so adamant.
What are you doing, Mike? I just looked at it, and the new picture shows it overhead.
I printed that off of the Pampa website, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when Sam started flying the pattern. And I don't have it. I threw it away because he memorized the pattern. But that I had that same printout, Steve. That's why I was so adamant that it ended at the intersection. I guess I was wrong too. Sorry, John.
Look at it.
That's all right.
I think the robot has a contradiction in it built in right now. Because every maneuver has a start point and an end point of the maneuver.
Yeah.
But then it says the judging is done for that. And then also in the judge's, I think in the judge's guide says, also talks about after you exit the maneuver, how fast do you need to get back to the 5 feet or whatever, you know.
Mike, you know I've never been wrong before, right?
So I'm thinking which is which. Is it, you know, if the maneuver starts and ends over here, who gives a right to ask how do you get to the 5 feet after the maneuver is over?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you judge? I mean, you judge where it starts and where it ends, or the way you enter into the maneuver and exit to the maneuver as well.
The reality of the situation is, Tran, if you're flying along and let's say you're going up to do the outside squares, and so you go like this, getting up to the outside squares, and you hit your corner, and then you do the square and everything's smooth, whatever, and you come up here. And now you exit, or if you exit here and you go down through your maneuver, in other words, you don't come straight across to the height of where you started maneuver. So you're going to be downgraded on your approach and on your exit, because you exited even though you might have considered that you were done with it. You're not done with it till you pass that point where you started the maneuver on that outside square.
Well, the other
thing, and a lot of people are doing that. That's true, but that's part of the maneuver because that's within the start and end point of the maneuver.
Right, but some people make that turn 1, 2, 3, turn 4. They make turn 4, and they start
descending immediately. Yep. Okay. No, I don't do that.
That'll get them counted down. And there is such a thing. I remember I once judged at the net, and you go into a meeting, and you got some of the best guys as far as the pattern in the country, and they have a judges seminar, and they talk about these things. And
you know what I'm thinking?
They make a determination before the contest starts what they're going to be looking for. And believe me, smoothness in your pattern is something that they watch.
Well, the other thing in there is that it said that landing must start from level flight. So anybody who does a cutoff loop, and when it quits up above and they just bring it in on an angle, they didn't start from level flight. I mean, if you do a cutoff loop, if you're really high, you got to come in someplace to level and then start a descent.
I look at the landing curves, the beginning of the landing curves, when you get to your pattern altitude, which is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Then you level, and then you let it sink in and make a good landing approach.
That's what we always said at our when we have our meetings.
But I would think at the end of your pattern, just like you have 2 level laps between each maneuver, you should do 2 level laps and then go into your landing after that.
Yeah, that's part of the plan anyway.
Yeah, you have to do your 2 level laps, but it has to start from level flight. So if you do your 2 level laps and then you do a cutoff loop,
then you bring it down to level. Bring it down to level flight, and you start
level
your landing.
flight is at 5 feet, Steve.
You do your 2 laps, do your loop, and then get down to level flight. Your landing starts.
There you go.
Okay.
That's how they judge it. That's how they score it.
But if you normally see somebody's airplane quit, you don't see any level. I mean, wherever it quits, it comes down and it's sinking. I never see level flight.
Well, I'm sure that has happened. It does happen often. Okay. But the reality of the situation is I use a cutoff loop occasionally, especially if I haven't got my fuel mixture, my tank load set up for that particular location very well. But I'll be up at 35, 40 degrees, and I'll do my cutoff loop. And I might have to do 2 of them to get it to cut off. And then I'll come around. I'll actually, I don't dive for the ground. I'll just put it slightly nose down just to keep my speed up, because I got to come around into the wind. And if you don't do that, if you're up high like that, you don't do that, you're going to have trouble on your landing. So if you're, let's just say you don't have to do a cutoff loop, and you're flying at level flight altitude, which is 5 to 6 feet, and it quits, you can start your descent immediately, but you hope it quits in the right spot. Because when you come around into the wind, it's going to slow you down, and you're going to stall if you're too slow.
Steve, let me ask you this:
you're going to bounce all over the place, and you blow that landing.
Does it specify how long you have to be in level flight, Steve?
No, it has to start from level flight.
So you cross through the threshold of level flight, which is 4 to 6 feet. If you do your loop, even if you dive down, if you cross through that threshold, you've hit level flight. Now your landing starts.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I thought the rulebook says the rulebook about landing says something like you're landing on the glide. I don't remember anything about the level flight mentioned.
I'll read it here.
Well, all maneuvers start and stop, except for the Clover, start and stop at level flight altitude, 4 to 6 feet. It does say that.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what angle you come in. You hit the
threshold
of level flight, your landing starts to get scored, no matter what attitude you came in it at.
Yeah, I think let's start with.
So the landing starts at.
Yeah, let's take the example of somebody's they've done their last loop on the clover leaf, and they pull up and the motor stops. Okay, usually it comes in on you, but let's say the guy's really good runner, and he manages to get control, and he dives it towards the ground and pulls it, catches it, and lands it. All right?
You got to do 2 laps.
Okay, let's say he gets it down and he whips it for 2 laps.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. How he got to level flight isn't all that important. It's that he gets to level flight, and it's that he has the 2 level laps. You're right on that.
Yep.
All it scored, the way they score it, the way I've scored it, and the way Ronnie Farmer and Randy Smith when they did our stunt clinic, and the way Big Art told us when he did his stunt clinic.
It says in here.
Hold on, Steve.
Hold on, Steve.
Phil's talking. Hold on.
They told us, what they told us is when you finish the last maneuver, which is actually the landing, but the last maneuver is your cloverleaf. When you finish the cloverleaf, you have to do 2 laps before attempting your landing, or you don't get the pattern points. You have to do 2 laps. So you finish your cloverleaf and you do 2 level laps. Yep. Then you take it up if you need to go and shut it off. Think about it, guys. Al Rabe won every damn thing, and he won with planes that I don't think I've ever seen Al Rabe fly 3 flights that he didn't shut the plane off with doing a tight loop, a tight circle, and then do a loop, and he shut his planes off. Everything he flew, he shut off like that.
But I'm looking at the rules right now, and I don't see anything that you're talking about. There's level flight, entering, landing in level flight. It doesn't exist.
No.
You guys, hang on a second. You guys, hang on a second.
14.37.1.
Hang on, you guys. Jim has been trying to speak. He signed. He put a sign. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, I mean, the rule book is exactly right on the clover. That's why I jumped in. I'm sitting here in bed, but the end point where they actually, if you look at the little drawing, it ends just above the last as you start to go over the top. But the drawing actually says you exit the maneuver over the top of the circle into the wind.
Yes, it does say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, as far as your landing goes, it's just exactly like you guys are saying. It really doesn't matter where you're going. You do your 2 laps of level, and then, like what I do, I've got 40 points multiple times than that on my landing. And I get up as high as I possibly can. I look like a freaking ballerina out there. My plane is straight over my head, and I'm just waiting for the timer to run out. I put a couple extra laps in, and once the motor stops, I just pick the nose down, and I just start into a fairly steep glide path, not that steep, and it actually kind of doesn't become as steep as you approach the ground. But you're passing through level flight. So they are starting to judge when you get to that 5 feet. And then on the landing part, it is when you roll to a stop, obviously, unless the contest people, if you're flying on grass and they say, well, we're not really going to count if you, flip it over or whatever. But that's all I was going to say is that you guys you and Mike must have been looking at the wrong stuff.
I'll read this to you. 14.37.1. A landing. Entry. When model starts descending from level flight.
Yeah, that's when the judge starts to judge.
So it has to be flying level.
No, it doesn't.
No. It has to cross the threshold.
That's just where the judge starts to judge it. He's not
counting. It has to cross the threshold.
Yeah. It doesn't say, it says from level flight.
Yeah, it's from there, from that point.
Steve,
it's not in level flight. Steve, it doesn't say in level flight. It says from level flight. It's one thing to say in level flight, but from.
Threshold, and then you go. I think most of us are in agreement on that.
But
what's going on in the screen?
Why is the screen going crazy from level flight? That means the model has to be in level flight.
No, it's from level flight. Level flight is considered at 5 feet, but it's from there.
Off the screen, man.
He's just trying to show us the actual rules.
The actual rules doesn't say anything about level flight.
There it is right there.
When the model starts to descend from level flight.
From level flight.
You gotta get to
landing.
level flight
It doesn't
before
say
you can start
when
the
it
level
crosses flight level. It says the model starts descending from level flight.
Right.
The
Yeah,
model is
that's
at
level
flight.
But you don't have to
at
do
5
your 2
feet.
laps at level flight.
Okay,
5
listen.
feet. 5
Okay.
feet isn't level flight.
But 13.5 landing says a correct landing is judged when the model descends smoothly to land with no bounce or unusual roughness.
Right.
It doesn't say anything about entering the maneuver in level flight.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
He just had it up on the
Bullshit.
screen.
Where is it?
He
It's
just had it up. Put that back up, Peter.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You had it highlighted.
The thing is, Steve, what you're saying is you're of the opinion that you have to be in level flight before you can start from level flight. And we're saying you have to pass through the level flight altitude is 4 to 6 feet. That's your pattern altitude. That's considered level.
Doesn't say it's level. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Read
look
the
at
top one there.
No,
Entry.
what's important is the
when
second
model
one, Steve. The second one is the important one. Do you see where it says the aircraft leaves the descent entry height?
Right.
Height.
At the beginning of its engine out landing approach.
Yeah. Once it gets to 5 feet, that's when they start judging.
Right.
But it doesn't say you have to be in level flight at 5 feet.
No, just when you come through that. The big thing is
when the
once you
model
come through
starts
that,
to descent
continue
from
going
level
down.
flight.
If you ever bump it back up, you just lost a bunch of points.
Right.
Right.
I mean, the rule is clear. It could say entry when model starts descent from level flight height.
And one of the best things about knowing this is that you can now, depending on which way, where your plane quits, where the engine quits, if you're up high enough, you can judge when you're going to start your landing so that you're not flying slowly into the wind. So you got enough speed to carry you through the wind, and you can begin your set down in that as you get closer and downwind. So you set down smoothly without bouncing or without stalling onto the ground and bouncing.
Yeah.
That's what we've always done. Go up high.
Yeah.
When you get to where you're going to be going into the wind, then start your steep descent so you can keep your speed up going into the wind. Then when you come around to 5 feet, and then if you do it right, you're going to be landing dead downwind is where your touchdown point is going to be, and you're going to be the best landing you're going to get. But you use the time coming down to go through the wind, the upwind portion of the circle, so that you got speed up and can get around to where you can land downwind. Because landing into the wind, you're giving up points. There's no way.
Agreed.
Right.
See, it's here on the second paragraph of what Peter's got up there. It says
errors.
Yeah, and any unusual circumstances outside the pilot's control, which may have caused one of the above mentioned errors, will be taken into consideration by the judge.
But they never do.
Well, they do if you go up and talk to them.
Well, they might, but
I can't tell you how many times I had to whip those 2 laps in.
It says a crash or flip over or belly or upgrade upside down landing receives no marks.
Right.
So if you flip over, you get 0 marks for your score for landing.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't fly Stunt 30 in contest. I'll take it out there and fly it and show everybody it's a heck of a flyer. Let me land it on asphalt, and I'll put it in a pretty pattern. But on grass, which is where we fly at Huntersville, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And one caveat is when you first roll out and then you take off, you are establishing your level flight height. So one pilot might
I'll be right back.
Establish 6 feet as level flight. Another pilot will establish 4 feet. That's established.
Peter, get rid of your Kawasaki.
That's
trying to get rid of it. There we go.
when you take off, you're supposed to do 5 laps level. That's when they establish your level flight. Because mine's at 5 feet and Tom Looper's is at 4 feet because of the difference in our height. But that's those 5 laps is when the judges are supposed to establish your level flight.
Exactly. And that's what you're supposed to maintain.
Exactly.
As far as between maneuvers, you're supposed to get back to that level flight.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't say
when you pull out, you pull out at that height. I mean, your level.
It should say that the landing should start at level height.
Just when you come through your level flight, that's when they start judging it.
At level
that's
height.
That's the way Randy taught us. It's the way Farmer taught us. It's the way Big Art taught us.
That's right, Steve. It should start at the height of level flight.
Right. You should say at the height of level. It shouldn't say.
It
should be worded the way it's worded.
Yeah.
There's several places in the rules that they should have words a little bit different than what they've got.
Yeah.
But
because in FAI it says it begins at 5 foot. It doesn't give you a choice of 4 foot, 6 foot. It says the landing starts at 5 feet and at the 5 foot mark it must do 1 full lap.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you would figure, okay, so you finished your cloverleaf, you've got to do 2 level flights, level laps, normal, flight level laps, and after the 2 level laps, you can go in and start your landing.
Yeah,
nobody at the World Championships ever did a right landing. No one could make the 1 level lap after you reach 5 foot.
After the engine stopped. Yeah.
Samantha come down like she flew really high, the engine quit. She dove it down like a wing over and hit 5 feet.
Right.
And she still couldn't make 1 lap. And she was trying to whip that damn thing.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
She could not, no matter what she did, she could not get 1 level. She got close a couple times.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, because
never made the 1 full, and I never seen anybody there make the 1 full lap.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, because some planes, when you get to 5 feet, you can't get a full lap out of it at 5 feet if that's the height. Yeah.
And what it is that when they had a few guys there trying to whip the airplane.
Right.
You ever see a whipped airplane? What it looks like?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard to do that, but you're dragging.
It was nothing smooth, and I just told her. I said, I think you're going to get higher scores with a nice smooth landing than you will trying to whip that thing and have that airplane bouncing all over.
Yeah.
That's obviously that's of course where electrics would come in to an advantage because you can pretty much time it. All right, finish my clover. I'm going to do 2 level, and I want my engine to cut off after the 2 level laps at some point. This way I can land within the rules.
Yeah, but you can't program that in.
Sure you can. I flew 6 flights today. 6. Every one of them. I finished my flight. Come around after my clover leaf. I come down, and 2 laps. I tell my wife 2 laps, and in 2 laps you hear that thing go beep. I got 5 seconds, and 1 more lap, and she's going to cut off. And I come around and land it on the back. I'd go up high so I could land it and bring it down at her because that darn Nobler is so heavy. When I touch down on the dead downwind, it will roll dead back up to her and stop. But if you've got your timer set right now, you got to fumble with it. 5 minutes and 25 seconds, you can get 5 laps in your pattern, then 2 laps, and then it beeps, and you got 1 more lap, and she's going to quit. But now you better not miss a lap, and you better not muff a maneuver, because if you do, you don't have much time to work with. But it works. It can.
It quit, but I mean, it doesn't always quit downwind. Exactly the right part. You can't time it so that you can, like Pete was saying.
No, you can't do that. I mean,
what Samantha does, she flies hers, and even with the gas, because if you can't do a cutoff loop, she flies it real high, and then when it cuts off, she will bring it around to where she wants this, like a cutoff loop would be, and hit that height, and then she knows that she can land at 1 lap path where she starts that landing way up high.
Yeah,
but
what I've been doing is when I hear the beep beep, I finish my pattern and do 2 level laps to get that in. And then you got that done. Your 2 laps are over. Then you go ahead and take it up high, and sometimes it stops on the way up, but you take it up high so you can bring it around. And if you have to dive it down,
You're right.
Upwind, so that you can land downwind, you do that. But if you don't, I mean, sometimes you're just bringing it around and it ends up right. But
Yeah.
that way you can land it dead down, and that sucker rolls a half a lap. But it
But
weighs
we
54
practiced
ounces.
that a lot on landings. You know, it
Yeah.
didn't matter over there, but for here, you know,
Yeah.
she would practice finding out if the motor quit here, what level do I got to go to get 1 lap out so it lands at the judge's feet, you know?
Yeah.
And but
trying to land it.
Practice got pretty damn good at always hit within 10, 15 feet of where she wanted to.
However,
landing
if
period.
you want to even that out, considering how light electronics are, and you don't even have to go to electric for that, it's very easy and very, very weight conscious to take an IC motor with a tank and turn around and put a fuel shutoff, some way of putting a fuel shutoff that you can trigger with a transmitter. Just shut the, cut the fuel, so when you know when your flight is done and you don't want to overfly it. Okay, I did my cloverleaf, I did my 2 laps. Now I just hit a little remote controller, say fuel shut off. Boom, you know that when that plane is going to come down.
Yeah.
Well, that's been proposed to use a transmitter, and you would use the RC carburetor, and you could adjust your speed. You could shut it off if you got a bad run, and you're practicing. You got a bad run, or something, and you could shut it off after 2 laps if you wanted a lap.
Oh, geez. Can you imagine the controversy at that point? If you have a carburetor on an airplane and you're flying against electric, and you can turn around and say, I'm going to do my loops, I'm going to turn around and bump up the RPMs X amount to do the loops or whatever maneuver you're going to do.
I think that's legal. It is now.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let me interrupt. I want to cut the stream, but not cut our conversation.
Yeah.
So let me just finish in closing real quick.
Bye, guys.
For showing up. Appreciate you guys showing up on the chat. We had a little conversation going on with there. I forgot how high of viewers we got. I think we somewhere around 13, 15 views, I think, currently. And so we appreciate that. Want to encourage you guys to out there to contribute to the program. You can either do the membership or a smart super chat. I haven't seen that icon in a while, if that's even still there. But anyway, thank you very much for coming out. We're going to, again, get together next Monday, same time, same channel. And I'd like to say good night, all. Thank you very much for showing up. Appreciate you greatly.
Bye, y'all.